Okay. This is it. Hello. Welcome back. It's part 2. We're back again. It is now Saturday, instead of Thursday. Couldn't get on at all yesterday. You know. We got a friend request from Charlotte. Looks like Hent. We're gonna ignore it. Let's get back into it. If you recall from part 1, then we were about halfway through. We got to the heroes, and then we stopped. So I don't know if this is going to take longer, shorter, or about the same. I would imagine probably shorter. But, oh, miscellaneous changes. But you never know. I've learned some things in the past 2 days. You know, who's good, who's not. But for the most part, I'm basically unspoiled for this. I've tried my best not to look at any heroes, any matches, anything. My YouTube feed has been filling up with 7.33 videos that I have yet to watch. Just because I don't want any hero spoilers. So here we go. Abaddon. Oh, I can... Oh, okay. That is, not what I was expecting to see. Okay. So the hero names are a hyperlink that take you... Okay, can I go back? Okay, this is now a web page. That's not what I wanted to see. Please. Okay. Don't click the hero names. Got it. Okay, Abaddon, once again. Sorry about that, y'all. God, there's so many changes. Abaddon is now a universal hero. Base damage decreased by a lot because he's a universal hero. Strength gain decreased, agility gain decreased, intelligence gain decreased. Damage on level 1 decreased by 4. Damage gain per level increased. Okay, so I'm assuming a lot of the universal heroes are kind of going to get this butchering to their stats, because otherwise their damage growth would be really good. But now their stats in general are probably just going to be overall weaker. So as heroes, they're probably going to be weaker than before on the most part, depending on... just based on their stat changes. But their damage might be better. As you can see, his damage is slightly better. Overall. The growth is better, but it's decreased by 4 at level 1, so this will probably even out by like level 30. That said, Abaddon might be a special case because Abaddon was really good last patch. So maybe he got hit a little harder, and it's just kind of hard to see where the balance is. Aphotic Shield is now considered a damage barrier, stacks additively with other damage barriers. That's not really anything. Borrowed time cooldown increased from 60, 40 to 70 to 50. That's fair. That's fair. What people were doing was playing carry Abaddon, getting Radiance, getting Manta Style, hitting their timings by getting to level 20, and then having a 32-second borrowed time that could be decreased further with Quickening Charm, Spell Prism, Octarine Core. So some people were just getting Octarine Core as like a last item as a carry Abaddon, and they would have like a 9-second uptime with like, I don't know, a 25-second cooldown ultimate where they just couldn't die. It was kind of really good. So that's worse now. Level 20 talent, minus 8 seconds borrowed time cooldown replaced. Okay. So that's completely dead now. It's 50 seconds now. Octarine Core would reduce it to like 38 or something, or 37. Which is way worse than it was. Cooldown replaced with 85 DPS, borrowed time immolation, 400 radius effect while borrowed time is active, damages both Abaddon and enemies. Okay. I thought it was really bad until it mentioned that it damages him too. Because that guarantees like at least a 500 heal. No, it's a lot. If it lasts like 8 seconds and it's almost 100 DPS, then that's going to be like 700 heal at the very least. And that's 700 damage around you, but the radius is very small. Certainly worse, I would say. I don't know what his other talent is, but aphotic shield barrier amount. Hard to say. Hard to say. It's certainly worse, though. Abaddon as a hero is probably just worse now. Alchemist, he got some big changes. His acid spray got big time buffs. His unstable concoction got nerfed, but that's just... I'm sure Lion got, like, dumpstered because of this, so... Big L for Lion. Greevil's Greed is now an innate ability. Max bonus gold per kill rescaled. Just to 18, so it's level 2 as it was before, and it's around between levels 1 and 2 for before. I would say we've already read most of these changes. In fact, we've read all of these. Alchemist is probably better on account of him just having a new ability and acid spray being way better than it was before. In basically every way, except for duration, but who cares? His stun got nerfed, but everything else is also getting nerfed. Like, basically, with the stun duration nerfs, they're basically buffing every hero without a stun, because that's one aspect of all heroes that are getting nerfed, except for the ones that don't have stuns. So heroes like PA, heroes like, I was going to say Chaos Knight, but that's not true. Heroes like Abaddon, or heroes like Io, are just innately better because they're not getting nerfed while everybody else is. So while Alchemist is getting nerfed, I think him having corrosive weaponry, this is probably just a good value point perk or ability. And you probably still just... Actually, that's weird, because you used to have to balance your points between Greevil's Greed, Acid Spray, if you wanted one Unstable Concoction. But now, Greevil's Greed is just part of you. So now do you max... You probably still max Acid Spray, but then do you get like a value point in weaponry, or do you just max Unstable Concoction, Acid Spray? Probably this to trade better. I don't know. Interesting. Also, there's nothing to scoff at about having plus, you know, you get like 5 stacks of status resistance on somebody. You know, it's a 30% longer stun. That could be really good. So I'd say Alchemist is probably better. I haven't looked at his win rates, but I'd imagine that they're better. Oh, also the encoding is overloading often, so I'm imagining that a lot of this video is going to look very jittery and weird. Which the first part also looked like. So sorry, but it's mostly audio, I'd imagine. Ancient Apparition. Stun duration decreased by 0.7. That's a lot. Ice Vortex Aghanim Shard upgrade removed. Now deals... Oh, okay, so they're building in his shard. Duration increased. No, decreased, my bad. Cooldown increased. Scales better. Ice Blast is now upgradable by Aghanim Shard. Enemies hit by Ice Blast Explosion are stunned with the current level of Cold Feet for 60% of its duration. Doesn't stun debuff immune enemies. Okay. That's really cool. That's really fucking good, too. Wow. I mean, Cold Feet is worse. But you are building in his Ags Shard, which was already something that AA really liked, because it gave him some kind of ability to farm waves and do extra damage in fights. So, I mean, the new shard seems really good and really cool. I don't know about 60% of its duration. I mean, 60% of 2.8 is like 0.28, 0.56. It's like 1.7 seconds or so-ish. So, I mean, a 1.7 second AoE stun that can be global is pretty fucking good. Big fan of that. That's really cool. AA, probably better, I'm gonna say. Anti-Mage, I think his win rate was pretty high. I can't remember. I think I might just be thinking of Ulfine winning his Anti-Mage game. Base strength decreased, base health regen increased. So he loses 44 health, but gains 0.5 health regen. His mana break is now decreased at mostly higher levels, but the mana burn per hit percentage is higher. Now plays a slightly different sound effect when the target is below 50% mana. Okay. That's cool. It lets you know when someone's getting there. So you don't have to click them immediately. You could just kind of know. But you can judge based on sound better. Blink cooldown is increased, so you have to scale it up faster, which people are already kind of doing. They were already kind of maxing Blink. Blink talent cast range decreased from 250 to 200. So his level 20 talents are kind of bad, I think. Most of his talents are kind of bad, I think. Certainly worse, I think. This scales better late game. But early game it's probably worse. I don't know. Probably he was pretty good last patch. He was definitely a solid pick most of the time, especially against certain lineups. That'll kind of always be Anti-Mage's role, is against certain heroes he'll do really well, and against certain heroes he'll do really bad. So he's just worse now, I think. But this is kind of nice. But overall worse. Arc Warden. They changed Arc Warden big time. I don't have that much to comment on. I think it's cool that they're experimenting with making his illusion different. But I would imagine that he's just better as of right now. I don't know. I'd have to look at the win rates, but I don't think I want to verse an Arc Warden right now. Seems very good. But maybe I'm just wrong. Axe. Berserker's Call duration decreased. They did this a baby bit, and that makes sense because without having call be at least 3 seconds, it would be kind of bad. Because that's a lot of what Axe needs to do is based around him hitting a call. So if they decrease this to like 2.5, he'd be way worse. Counter Helix damage rescaled from 60 to 180 to 80 to 170, so narrower. No longer uses a pseudo-random proc chance, now triggers after a set number of attacks taken. Attacks that trigger 7654. Okay. Aghanim's Shard no longer increases proc chance, now reduces the cooldown of Counter Helix to 0 seconds. This is probably about the same. It's cool that you could charge it up now. You know, you could have it on the third attack and then blink on someone and get an insta-proc on your Counter Helix. It just means that it's more consistent, but it's probably around the same as it was before. So he's probably the same-ish, but the Aghanim Shard no longer increasing chance and reducing the cooldown to 0 seconds. I mean, the cooldown is already like 0.3, and the chances of you getting, you know, attacked 4 times in 0.3 seconds is not good. So I'd say that the Shard is probably a nerf, but the other things are probably about the same. Overall, he's probably slightly worse. Bane, now a universal hero, base damage decreased by a lot. The numbers on universal heroes are gonna look fucking weird. Damage on level 1 decreased by 11. Oh, shit. Damage gain per level increased by... Oh, okay. So they didn't decrease his stats at all. Bane is a hero that has always had the exact same stat growth for all of his stats. It should be like 2.5 each, yeah. And he starts with 23 each. So they're not going to change that. They're going to keep that consistent with how it's been. So as a trade-off, he does a lot less damage at level 1. But he gains 2 more damage per level. Overall, that's probably a nerf. Not worth it. Despite his right clicks getting much stronger late game. Enfeeble no longer reduces heal regen, now deals damage per second. First instance of damage applies on application. Attack damage reduction increased. Mana cost increased by a lot. Duration rescaled to 9. Okay. So what they're probably going to take out is a lot of regen reduction and heal reduction, because there was a lot of it in the game, and there was a lot of dispels in the game. So they got rid of all the neutral items that did dispels, and they're probably going to scale back on the amount of things that do healing reduction. on heroes. So Scotty is the same, Shiva's is the same, Spirit Vessel is the same. But I'd imagine they're going to take out a couple of the heroes that can do that. So Enfeeble is now a fantastic blink cancel ability, because this lasts like 8 seconds. So this will do... Oh god, all my math. Was that 240? Yeah, 240. I thought the first number I thought it was 240, but for some reason I thought I did it wrong. This will do 240 pure damage. Well, I guess the duration is now 9. It was longer than 8. So it'll do 270 pure damage, but it will do 9 seconds of you can't blink anymore. Which is really good. The attack damage reduction is decreased. So the thing about Enfeeble is that it's always been kind of like this weird ability, where they've changed how it works a lot. So now it's attack damage reduction, cast range reduction, and it does damage over time. That's it. It's a little simpler, I think. I think it's more simple. He has less clear matchups now. Like, you don't pick a Bane into a Necrophos anymore or something, or a Timbersaw, because it was just obvious because you could enfeeble them. But Bane wasn't very popular, I don't think. So Brain Sap now pierces debuff immunity, which is nice. You can now Brain Sap someone with a BKB, and it does pure damage. And remember, if it pierces debuff immunity, then they take the pure damage, so it will deal 300 pure damage. And he'll heal for it. Nightmare no longer deals damage, because Enfeeble does it now, okay. Duration decreased. Mana cost decreased. Okay. As part of a comprehensive disables reduction. And that as well, okay. I don't know. Probably better, because the mana cost was really high before, and now it's just mostly high. Especially for the laning stage, it's 45 less mana for a 3.5 second setup, which can be pretty good. This isn't a huge deal. 0.25 seconds is not much. If you're not killing someone in 5.75 seconds, the 6 wouldn't make a difference. Nightmare damage heals being replaced with 2-second Brain Sap cooldown, minus 3-second Brain Sap cooldown, replaced with 13 Enfeeble damage per second, which gets multiplied by 9. So that does a decent chunk more damage. 117. It's okay. It's pure damage, I guess. Fiend's Grip duration decreased from 5 seconds to 3 seconds. That kind of goes along with their disables reduction. So instead of having an 11-second Fiend's Grip, you can have an 8.75, which, once again, sounds like a big deal. But if you can't kill someone in 8.75 seconds, what the fuck? You're having some issues. It would be useful if you had his Ags and you just kind of Fiend's Gripped a carry in the back of a fight and they couldn't kill your illusions. So that's worse. But most cases, not going to change much. Bane is probably overall worse. I think his biggest change was honestly his damage increase at level 1, or decrease at level 1. But we'll see. I'd imagine he's not that good. But we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong. Batrider, gonna get dumpstered. He was really good. Now Universal Hero, base damage decreased to 0 to 4. Holy shit. Strength gain decreased. That's a lot. Agility gain decreased. Intelligence gain decreased. Damage on level 1 unchanged, because it was already really low. If it was lower, that would be fucking terrible. Damage gain per level increased by a decent amount. So his scaling is gonna... Since his damage is unchanged at level 1, and the damage increase is 1.24 higher, it'll feel better. But his stats being lower is certainly not worth it, I don't think. Base movement speed increased. Oh! Okay. That's a lot, which makes me feel like Firefly is not going to give you movement speed anymore. Yeah, it doesn't. Okay. Because that would have been way too much. 330 with Firefly would have been fucking cracked. Application damage for Sticky Napalm is decreased. Damage per stack is decreased. Slow per stack is decreased. Yeesh. Cooldown rescaled to be way worse at early levels, but better at late levels. Now slows affected enemies by 25. Okay. Duration rescaled. Oh. Oh god. Okay. Damage increased. Okay. So the total damage is higher. Okay, yeah. Yeah. But it burns for less time. So so the damage is higher, but it burns for less time, which seems like it would be better because you're getting more damage in faster. But you have to remember that he does his damage with sticky napalm. So this is actually a nerf. Making him do less damage over time is a nerf because of sticky napalm. No longer provides bonus vision. Oh, that's a big nerf too. Bonus move speed, damage per second increased. Okay. So they made sticky napalm worse, but they're making his other spells do more damage. This is a slow too. Flaming lasso, total damage increased. Damage now ticks every 0.5 seconds instead of whatever it was before. I don't know what it was before, but I think it was faster than that, so that's worse. Cast range increased. Duration decreased. Cooldown decreased. Yeah, the cooldown was really long. Going from 110 seconds to 60 seconds is like kind of a huge deal. On the whole, I don't know. He's probably worse, I think. But this is a big DPS increase. But this is a lot of DPS decrease. The slow is worse, but this applies to slow now. This cooldown is huge. I don't know. Batrider might still be fine. I'm kind of interested. I want to look it up. Dota buff. Batrider. How's he looking? He is worse. Yeah, he's handily worse by a couple percent. Shame. He's already such a rare hero. Okay. He does still have a minus cooldown on his Flaming Lasso, though, so that could be 50-second cooldown on Flaming Lasso, which is cool. Beastmaster, now a universal hero. Base damage decreased. Agility gain decreased. Int gain decreased. Oh, that's real bad. Damage on level 1 decreased by 8. Damage gain per level increased by 0.4. Nerfs. Nerfs, I think. Not good. 1.4 agi, 1.2 mana is very bad. 1.2 int is really bad. Like, that's horrendous. But he does get a mana cost decreased to compensate, I suppose. Dive Bomb, Aghanim Shard root duration decreased. Stun duration for Primal Roar is decreased. Still really long. But fair. Mana cost decreased, also necessary. Drums of Slom, ability reworked, now a passive ability. Attacks from Beastmaster or a nearby unit he controls cause him to bang his drum, dealing damage to nearby units and healing himself and units under his control for a portion of the damage dealt. Every attack decreases the interval between his drum hits for a maximum of 3 seconds, down to a maximum of 0.4 seconds between hits, after 20 attacks. If no attacks are made, the intervals gradually increase every 1 second. Using Primal Roar automatically adds drum stacks based on the level of Primal Roar. Drum hit damage is 90. Heal from heroes 25. Heal from creeps 5. Okay, I think Beastmaster's Ags was pretty good before, so I think they're trying to change how much damage he could deal with it, and this is just really weird. This potentially feels like it could be really good. But I don't know. It feels like it could be really good. Because it feels burstier, you know. You jump on someone, you roar. You use your boar. You start attacking. You get like 3 drums in every second or something. Overall, probably worse. Because minus 8 damage is a lot. Whatever. Nobody ever sees Beastmaster at our level anyway. Bloodseeker. Basically untouched, I think, so probably going to get better. Blood Rage max health damage per second decreased from 2 to 1.8. Pure damage from Aghanim Shard is now dealt as separate instance of damage. Buffs by a little bit. Rupture cooldown rescaled from 70 to 75 to 65. Move damage increased. Sure. Blood Mist now passively turns all of your overheal from your own abilities into a damage barrier up to 50% of Bloodseeker's max health in addition to its active effect. Barrier decays by 0.5% of max health per second. Damage no longer counts as HP loss. It burns barrier if it's available and can be decreased by sources that reduce damage. Okay, so this is better. This is pretty good. Now, I don't think Blood Mist was fine, I think, but nobody really played Bloodseeker. I don't think this is enough to get people to play Bloodseeker, but I mean, they're little baby buffs, I guess. Shuriken Toss on Bounty Hunter, no longer mini stuns. Now applies a 100% movement slow for 0.35 seconds. Janata is no longer disabled by silences, instead disabled by break. Attack no longer slows the target. Attack now stuns the target. Oh. Aghanim Shard no longer grants charges. Now lowers Shadow Walk cooldown by 5 seconds. Shadow Walk attack move slow replaced with Shuriken cost slow, so it could be a 1 second 100% slow. 2 second silence on hit with Shadow Walk replaced with minus 25% damage taken in Shadow Walk. Okay. This feels like, I don't know. This feels like a nerf. This feels like a buff to core, but a nerf to support. Because the whole thing about support was that it was nice to be able to throw the mini stun from really far away. And get the shard to make your teammates invisible. But now you have to be in to stun people, which is worse for support. Okay. Interesting. Want to see how it plays out. Beastmaster. This matters for Ulfine only. Universal Hero, base damage decreased. Base damage on level 1 decreased. Damage gain per level increased. Void Stance is now part of the basic ability. Void Stance status resistance decreased to scale. Slow on attack decreased to scale. Okay. Earth Ruling spell immunity replaced with debuff immunity. Okay. Earth Ruling damage decreased. Earth Ruling Hurl Boulder stun duration decreased. Damage on the Storm Ruling decreased. Cyclone decreased. Damage rescaled to be worse early, higher late. On the Fire Ruling. Void Ruling is now part of the basic ability. Aghanim Shard now extends Primal Split duration by 12 seconds and grants Rulings the Primal Split cancel ability. Ooh. Void Ruling Astral Pulse ability replaced with Astral Pull. Can target allies and enemies. Pulls the target and the Void Ruling in the target direction. Enemies receive 150 damage upon arrival. Distance 700. Cast range 150. So the cast range is very low. Okay. And you kind of just move both of you in a target direction. Cooldown is 8 seconds. Damage replaced with Bruling's damage. Okay. So they made the damage lower. Basically each Bruling is worse now, except they added the Void Bruling. Just to his kit. So Primal Split is the shard is really good. 12 extra seconds, you just buy fucking shard and split. And then Refresher Orb split. How long is that? That's gotta be fucking ridiculous.
There's trouble brewing.
What's the duration? 20 seconds? You're gonna get a 32 second split, and then Refresher, and then get another 32 second split? That's fucking crazy. That's gonna be really annoying. I would imagine that the shard is honestly just going to be a buff. Brewmaster's got to be buffed, I think. This is just good. Once again, I just want to look it up. I should probably just keep Dota buff open. Let me see. About the same, actually. It's kind of ping-ponging up and down. Maybe they don't know. Bristleback. Bristleback got a huge win rate increase, so let's see what happens. Bristleback now provides Warpath stacks with each quill Oh. I didn't say any of that correctly. But that's good. That's really good. Taking excess damage over the quill spray threshold is maintained, and multiple quill sprays can trigger from a single source of damage. Mana cost and a hairball decreased by 25. Wow. That is really good. I see why he's better now. So if a PA crits your back, you can just fire off 5 quills and kill the support that's right next to you. That's fucking crazy. That's really good. Warpath stacks with each quill spray, really fucking good. That's Bristleback is fucking Bristle is back. Broodmother. Now a universal hero. Base damage decreased, strength gain decreased by a lot. Base agility decreased, agility gain decreased, intelligence gain decreased, damage on level 1 decreased, damage gain per level increased by fucking nothing. That's just bad for her. She is a fucking frail ass spider now. Insatiable Hunger. Base attack damage bonus rescaled to plus base damage. Item Shard base attack damage bonus increase per second rescaled from 12 to 4 base damage per second. Okay. Scales better. Worse early. Spin Web health regen decreased. Damage decreased on her ult at early levels. Spin Web charge restore time decreased. Agility replaced with 35 attack speed. They fucking took a dump on Brood. Holy shit, she is so bad. Let's take a little peeksy here at Broodmother. Let me see. Yeah, she dipped by fucking... Oh my god. This is so bad, I'm actually going to show you. Bro. Her win rate dropped from 46 and 48 to fucking 33. 33. She got fucking dumpstered. Oh my god. That's so bad, dude. That's horrendous. I think that is actually the worst win rate I've ever seen. 33. 33. That's so bad. That's crazy. That's crazy. They fucking shit on her, dude. Wow. Wow. That's crazy. Get fucked. Cent. I'm sure every pro in the fucking world is cheering for this, by the way. Centaur. Thunder. I think he was okay. He might get a little... I don't know. He's probably going to stay the same mostly. Thunderation decreased by 0.4. Ooh, that's pretty bad. Cast point improved by 0.05. Strength return damage rescaled. Hoof stomp duration. This is... Despite him... God, fucking damn it. Despite the buffs to his other abilities, he's probably just nerfed. Like, it's probably just not enough for him to counterbalance this. Like, that's bad. And AoE stun losing 0.4 seconds is bad. Chaos Knight. Chaos Bolt minimum stun duration decreased. Maximum stun duration decreased. Critical lifesteal increased. Critical lifesteal from creeps is now reduced by 50%. Ooh, that's bad. That's very bad. Chaos Strike lifesteal increased on the talent. So now it's 85%. Min-max Chaos Bolt duration decreased to 0.6 at level 20. Nerfs. Chaos Knight nerfs. Yike-a-ronies. He's better at scrapping because of the critical lifesteal increase, but worse overall because he's lifestealing less from creeps. Chen. I believe Chen got a big win rate increase. This is one of the ones that I know about. Yeah, I mean, all the creep abilities and shit scaling, like, that's just automatically Chen, dude. Chen is about that shit. Damage on level 1. Oh, his damage level 1 is increased. His damage gain per level is increased. Now grants Chen gold equal to the creep's bounty when dominating it. Aghanim Shard also adds 1 level to upgrade it. But what were they thinking? Chen's fucking crazy now. What? Yo, Imad. I know you're not watching this because nobody's watching this anymore. Or ever was. But Imad, I'm calling out through the field. You're getting an urge to play Chen. You're getting an urge to play Chen. You're getting an urge to play Chen. Okay, maybe that works. Clinks. We've read all of this. Clinks lost a lot of win rate percentage. He also got dumpstered. He dropped from 56 to 41. Now, granted, he's basically a new hero, so it's going to take some time for people to figure out how to play him in this new way. Oh god, people do not like new Clinks. But, yeah, it's going to be pretty rough for him for a while, I think. And it's probably going to stay pretty rough for him. Yeah, not good. Not, I'm not a fan. Looks like other people aren't fans. Also, they reused Strafe and Burning Barrage, so it's probably just old Strafe, yeah. No good. No good for Clinks. Clockwork, he was really good. Now Universal Hero, base damage decreased, strength gain decreased, agility gain decreased, intelligence gain decreased, damage by on level 1 decreased by 4, damage gain per level increased by 0.04. Worse. Just worse. Just worse. This hurts. Like, becoming a Universal Hero hurts because you're getting more damage, but they have to tone back all of your stats to make sure that your damage isn't just fucked. Which means that your strength is going to be decreased, which means that you're going to fucking have less health. Your agility is going to be decreased, which means that you have less attack speed and armor. And your intelligence is going to be decreased, which means that you have less mana. Which can be counteracted by mana cost reductions, but the other two are harder to fix. So no good. No good. Power Cogs now applies a magic barrier to all allied units and Power Cogs when cast. Magic barrier gives that much health. Knockback duration decreased. Knockback effect now interrupts most forced unit movement abilities. Exceptions are Flaming Lasso, Centaur's Hitch a Ride, and Tusk's Walrus Kick. Okay. Sure. Rocket Flare also now slows movement speed of hit enemies by 100% by 0.4 seconds. Hookshot stun duration decreased. Powercog's leash units inside replaced with 75 Rocket Flare damage. Spell immunity inside Rocket Flare, inside of Powercogs replaced with debuff immunity and 50% spell magic resistance. Okay. Probably worse. I think. I mean, his stats are just worse. Hookshot is worse. Powercogs gives a magic barrier, which it always includes him, which is pretty nice, actually. But his talents are definitely worse. The Rocket Flare thing is kind of nice, but not a huge deal. I don't know. I don't think he's going to take that much of a hit, but I think he's definitely worse. Crystal Maiden, base damage increased by 2. That actually helps a lot. Two base damage to help trade in lane as a support is very nice. Frostbite damage tick interval decreased. So now the damage from Frostbite will occur more frequently. Freezing field cooldown decreased. Talent attack speed increased. Crystal Maiden is just better. Okay. Fine by me. I don't see her that often. Darkseer, now Universal Hero. Base damage decreased. Base damage on level 1 decreased by 4. Damage gain per level increased by a lot. So by level 3, he's basically made this up. Base health regen increased. Okay. And his stats weren't changed. So Darkseer is basically buffed from this, I think. From level 3 on, he's buffed. For sure. And the base health regen is very nice. 0.75 health regen is a lot. Tick interval increased. Okay, so you take damage less frequently from Ion Shell, which is worse. Normal Punch max stun duration decreased. Normal Punch has been getting the fucking dick, dude. It was so good, and now it's just good. Overall buffs, I think. Actually, I don't know. Probably about the same. This is probably the biggest change, shockingly. I didn't even click anything! They should not have done that. The fucking hyperlink is terrible. Alright, we're getting there. We're getting there. Dark Willow, Universal Hero, Agility gain decreased, base damage decreased, int gain decreased, damage on level 1 decreased, damage gain per level increased by a baby bit. So she's worse. She's definitely worse. Shadow Realm max damage increased at early levels. Allied units can now target Dark Willow while in Shadow Realm. Okay, that is good. Because she was untargetable by everybody. So if you were like a Winter Wyvern or a Warlock that wanted to heal your Dark Willow while they were Shadow Realmed, you just couldn't do it. So this is better now for that's a buff. So these are 2 buffs after these nerfs. Cursed Crown stun duration is decreased to be consistent with other changes. Cursed Crown stun duration decreased. Bedlam Pierce's spell immunity replaced to +2 Bedlam attack targets. Oh, very cool. You could dish out a lot of fucking damage with her talent now. She's overall probably worse because this is a nerf. This is a nerf. This is a nerf. And I don't know if this is necessarily a nerf, but it's fucking cool. It's probably better, honestly. This is a buff, but this is a very small case where you'd want someone to cast something on you. Maybe like an OD Astral Imprisonment, so you can get 4 seconds out of Shadow Realm into a 4-second Astral to be safe for like 8 seconds. But I mean, probably not a huge amount of time that this is gonna matter. This is nice, but whatever. So probably just worse, I think, because of Curse Crown mostly. Dawnbreaker. Starbreaker, smash stun duration decreased. Spell immunity with Aghanim Shard replaced with debuff immunity. Okay. Solar Guardian, landing stun duration decreased. Celestial Hammer slow increased. Celestial Hammer cast range replaced with plus 80% Celestial Hammer cast range / speed. That's cool. 2 Starbreaker charges replaced by 2 Starbreaker 6-second Starbreaker cooldown. Okay. She's just worse. Pretty much nerf, 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 buff. Probably about the same, and nerf. The 2 Starbreaker charge thing is actually very big. Because you can't chain them together anymore. It's a 5-second cooldown. So the uptime is very high, but having 2 charges is just better. So charges are basically always better than higher cooldown, unless the cooldown is fucking crazy low. Dazzle's now a Universal Hero. Damage decreased, strength gain decreased, agility gain decreased, int gain decreased, damage on level 1 unchanged. Damage gain per level is lower. That's wild. Good Juju ability removed. Okay. I'm kind of glad that they're changing Dazzle again, because the way that he was... When he had, like, the AoE ultimate weave ability, it was very simple to understand, but he was kind of lame-o. Then they changed Bad Juju, and it was very cool, and he was very item-based, and then they said, we don't like how he was being played, so they changed it again, and they made Bad Juju different, and they made Good Juju, just a fucking weird ability, and I didn't like it. So... I didn't like the last iteration of Dazzle. Granted, he was quite good in the last patch, so he's probably getting nerfed here. As we've already seen from his damage decrease and his stat gain decrease. Poison Touch, Aghanim Shard decreased. Shadow Wave now upgradable by Aghanim Scepter. Good Juju was the Ags, by the way. That refresh people's item cooldowns when cast on them. Now upgradable by Aghanim Scepter. allows casting Shadow Wave on enemies to release an inverse Shadow Wave. The inverse wave bounces amongst enemies, dealing damage to them and healing any nearby allied units for 150% of healing and damage values of Shadow Wave. Dazzle also performs an auto attack on every enemy hit by the inverse Shadow Wave. That is really bad. That is absolutely not worth 4,200 gold. That's crazy. That is not good. It sounds like kind of cute with like a core build, and you can like keep Poison Touch going, but like that is not good. That is not good. Bad Juju, ability reworked. Whenever a unit is affected by Dazzle spells, they temporarily lose 1 to 3 armor for 8 to 12 seconds. Can be activated to decrease the remaining cooldown of all other abilities by 4, 5, 6 seconds and items by 3, 4, 5 seconds. Casting Bad Juju costs health. Each cast increases health cost by 50% for 30, 25, 20 seconds. Bad Juju cannot kill Dazzle, but can still be cast without the sufficient HP. Cooldown is 3 seconds. Can still be cast without the sufficient HP. Oh, that's cool. Dazzle also gets Bad Juju's armor's buff for casting Bad Juju. Okay. So he just gets more and more armor for casting this over and over. Kind of cool. Kind of cool. I like the fact that it can't kill you and you can just keep casting it and just remain on like super low HP. But I wish that they would just like get rid of like these weird timers and like and just make it simple again. It is pretty cool. 60 damage replaced with 30 attack speed. That is probably worse for core Dazzle, but better in most ways because you can reapply Poison Touch faster. So this is honestly probably a buff. Maybe? I don't know. 60 damage was a lot, but it's probably a buff. Bad Juju. I don't know. I feel like people finally got used to how Dazzle was in his previous iteration, and now they changed it again. And it's going to take more getting used to. I kind of like the idea, but it's also kind of weird. The cooldown is very low. And you can just cast it once. And they get minus 6 second cooldown on Shallow Grave or something for a clutch save. So you cast everything. And then you cast Bad Juju. You instant Shadow Grave, or Shallow Wave again. Shadow Wave, Jesus. And then cast another shallow. Fucking kill me, dude. You get the idea. Kind of cool. Kind of cool. You actually have to understand how the ability works now, though, before you could kind of just ignore Bad Juju and cast it whenever, and maybe it would work out. But now you have to understand it. I wonder if the item cooldown works with Guardian Greaves. If it does, that's pretty good. If not, which I don't think it would, then that's worse. You can also just fucking sit in base and heal forever and keep spamming, that fucking item, Handamitis. I don't know. I don't know how this is gonna reflect on Dazzle. Weird. Death Prophet, she's gonna get nerfed. Aghanim Shard Fear duration decreased. Siphon move speed slow increased. Replenish time improved. Okay. So she really didn't get touched that much. I mean, her early game is still mostly good. And they're just buffing her late game, which is where she falls off a little bit. But they nerfed her Shard, which was really good. So I'm going to say she's overall, honestly, probably worse just because of this. But, I mean, she's mostly the same. Disruptor. Disruptor was really good, so expect nerfs. Aghanim's Shard upgrade reworked. When cast on the ground, Thunderstrike now lies dormant, not striking for up to 5 seconds. If an enemy comes within range during that time, Thunderstrike attaches to it. If no enemy comes within range, it strikes the ground. Aghanim's Shard also increases the number of strikes by 2 and cast range to 1,600. Okay. It's like a scouting ability, but like pretty bad, I think. Cast range is nice. I don't know. It's a decent scouting ability, I think. But also just worse than the old shard, I think, too. Glimpse minimum damage decreased, maximum damage decreased. Yeah, people are just maxing Glimpse and doing a ton of damage, and it will still do a lot of damage, just a little less. Kinetic field cooldown increased. Thunderstrike damage replaced with Thunderstrike radius. Okay, I like that. Static storm duration decreased from 2 to 1.5, plus 8 pulses to plus 6. Thunderstrike hits replaced with Thunderstrike slow duration. Okay. So, I mean, I think the reason that he's good hasn't really been changed, because people would just max Glimpse, go for very active early game fights, and then rush an Aghanim Scepter, and just mute people with Static Storm and Kinetic Field, which was really good, and that's basically unchanged. They nerfed Kinetic Field a little bit, and they nerfed his talent, but honestly not that much to either of them. He gets like little baby nerfs here and there, but honestly he's still probably good. Doom. Infernal Blade stun duration. Doom was good, I think, so he's probably gonna get... I love it! He's probably gonna get some little nerfs. Please. Please. There we go. Stun duration decreased. Aghanim Shard base stun duration decreased. Shard bonus stun duration decreased. Doom Scepter radius decreased. Scorched Earth damage decreased. Okay, yeah, he just got like general nerfs. The Aghanim Scepter was really good, and a 25 radius decrease on a small radius like that is kind of important. So, wah 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 wah. Strength gain increased on Dragon Knight. He's pretty bad right now, I think. Breathe Fire while in Elden Dragon form applies Corrosive Breath or Frostpath effect corresponding to the current form. Cool. Dragon Tail. This helps farm, actually, because you can just Dragon Breath or Rave, and then it applies the Corrosive Breath and starts killing things. Dragon Tail stun duration decreased. Stun duration decreased. Attack range decreased. He's overall probably... Well, I mean... If you take this into account, he's worse, but since everybody else is getting nerfed, I think he's relatively better, but I don't know. Overall, probably worse, maybe. Drow Ranger, Frost Arrows. Hypothermia effect is now granted by Aghanim Scepter instead of Aghanim Shard. Uh-oh! Uh-oh! That's way worse! Hypothermia, bonus damage per stack increased from 5 to 15. Max stacks increased from 7 to 9. Regen reductions per stack increased from 8 to 10. Oh, God. Okay, so now... she's gonna farm way slower. Not way slower, but she's definitely gonna farm slower. Now the Scepter, you pick it up some games, but not all games. I'm going to a steakhouse tomorrow. I'm happy. Very expensive steakhouse. Insignia. It's nice. Very nice. Glacier. Yeah, so you'd buy the Scepter against certain heroes like Timber, Necro, Axe, Bristle, Alchemist. But it's not going to be in every game you get the Shard now. Unless this is really good. New ability granted by Aghanim Shard. Drow Ranger creates a hill of ice beneath her, pushing enemies away from it. Any unit that stands on the hill gains 175 bonus attack range and high ground advantage. They cannot miss and gain flying vision. The front of the hill obscures vision and cannot be moved through. For the first time, I actually want to try something. Because this seems really fucking weird, but kind of good. Obscuring vision is, like, nice. I just want to see it. Because it's kind of hard to, like, really visualize it.
Good enough. Onward.
Prepare for battle.
Okay. Okay.
My bow is drawn.
Does it obscure your vision? Like if I do this. Well, actually, that's a bad tell because it just goes.
Silence.
Okay, it does obscure your vision, but that provides a lot of vision, man.
Agreed.
Like, that's really far. And you get bonus attack range. 825, and then she usually gets a hurricane pike. So like,
Axe run.
I go
Fuck outta
in
here.
Silence.
they can't miss, and if you attack me, you probably can miss. Obscures vision.
Forward.
So if an enemy drow uses that,
Yes.
I can't see her.
Way ahead of you.
That's pretty good.
My sentiments.
But if she uses it, I can see if I'm behind her.
To battle.
But if the entire fight is taking place like in front of you,
Way ahead of you.
Jesus,
Silent is missed.
she can attack from so far.
My bow is drawn.
Dude, I mean, that's real far. Like, if you're just in the middle of a fight and you just start doing this shit,
Cold embrace.
like, you can really fuck people up, actually.
So be it.
This is inaccurate. You get something like, what else did you get? What else does Drow buy? Somebody help. No, nobody help. I'll figure it out myself.
Manta style.
And if she's got this, and like a Scotty.
I go in silence. I'll cut a knife.
I mean, that seems pretty good.
I know I should respect.
Would you normally buy it? I mean, like, the thing is, it's one of those shards where it's nice to have, but it's not like,
Find your target.
it's not like, oh, I need to buy my shard, I need to buy my shard. Maybe against certain lineups, or if they have bad vision. Like, oh, you can siege with that. Ooh, you can attack high ground really well with this. That's pretty good. I'm kind of a fan of this. I'm a fan of it because it's like kind of weird, but kind of cool. I think she's probably just a worse hero overall because of these, but it's pretty cool. Let me look up her win rate. Reminder that the win rates aren't totally like a change based on... They don't change just based on the hero changes because the whole game is changing around them too. She's about 2% worse, which is about what I would have expected. You went from 50 to 48. Earth Spirit. Aghanim's shard upgrade removed now gains 1 extra stone remnant charge every 5th hero level. From 7 up to 13. Weird. Okay. Sure. Fuck it. Boulder Smash now does 1.25 the damage against creeps. Buff. Stun duration decreased. Yeah. Rock bonus stun duration decreased. I forgot the rock... or the stone made it do more stun. Geomagnetic Grip, now upgradable by Aghanim Shard, can now target allies. Ah, that is very good. Remnant enchant duration decreased from 3 to 2.4. I am imagining that he is just better. That is very good. This is pretty good. This is pretty good. This is fucking crazy good. Pros are gonna buy that shit. Magnetized duration replaced by 8% spell amp. 20 magnetized damage per second replaced to 25% damage and duration. Better. Okay. Cool. Geomagnetic grip silence replaced with grip cooldown. Okay. Geomagnetic grip targets allies replaced with boulder smash damage. This talent is definitely better, but it's on a shard now, so it's fine. Rolling boulder stun duration decreased. Spell amp replaced by a magnetized undispellable. Ooh, late game undispellable blink dagger canceller. Quite good. He's probably better. Cool. Earthshaker, stun duration decreased. Stun duration rescaled. Oh, but that's pretty bad. Damage rescaled. Fissure range decreased. Echo damage increased. Chant totem cooldown reduction increased. Probably worse. This is pretty rough for him. Earthshaker is one of those heroes that also gets fucked by the stun duration decrease, because it's basically heroes that rely a lot on stuns from their abilities are just going to be worse this patch. So Lion and Earthshaker are some two big ones that come to mind. Elder Titan. Base health regen increased. I haven't seen an Elder Titan in fucking forever. Sleep duration decreased. Stomp damage rescaled. Scepter was changed. Okay. I mean, this is just a buff then, because of this. And they never stay asleep for the full 5 seconds, really. So, buff. Ember Spirit base armor increased. Now stacks additively with other sources of magic barriers, so it works with pipe. Magic absorb decreased. Ember was good, and this seems out of pocket for him. He honestly might be better based on certain, like in certain lineups, I think he's just better now. Okay, cool. I like Ember. Sure. In fact, if you have a pipe, then he's definitely better. Enchantress. Aghanim Shard now also increases the maximum number of enchanted units from 1 to 2. Okay, that makes the shard much better. Before it was very bad, and now it's just... it's probably fine now. That's pretty good. Magic damage, magic resistance decreased from 10 to 8 with the 10 talent. Enchant affects ancients replaced with 30% creep health damage. Okay. Meh talent. This would have been too good with the new shard though, so I see why they changed it. She's probably about the same. This is pretty good though. Good players will use that. Enigma, now universal hero. Base damage decreased. Damage level 1 decreased. Damage gain per level increased. Base mana regen increased. Oh, okay. That's very good. That's very good. Stun duration decreased. Shard stun duration decreased. This is kind of a big deal. He might just be worse overall because everything else kind of weighs pretty heavily, but I mean, this is a very, very, very nice change. He's probably about the same-ish. Void. Time lock duration decreased. Okay, get fucked. Chronosphere duration decreased. Oh, that hurts a lot, actually. This is one that hurts a lot. Now freezes ability and item cooldowns of anyone trapped in Chronosphere. Now prolongs duration of time dilation for units trapped in Chronosphere. Okay, that's really cool. I don't know if he's worse or about the same, because like this kind of hurts a lot actually, because now permabashing someone is way harder, and this 0.25 seconds will probably matter more than people think. Like this is a pretty short Chronosphere at level 1, honestly, but these are two nice changes to kind of compensate for it, so I don't know. It's not a huge deal, but like it's very annoying. So he's probably the same-ish. Grimstroke. Inkswell. Max stun duration decreased. Movement speed bonus increased. Cooldown decreased. Dark Portrait illusion is now a strong illusion. Spell immunity replaced with debuff immunity and 95% magic resistance. That's a huge buff. That is a nerf, obviously, but not a huge one. In fact, like, who fucking cares? Like, this really doesn't matter, actually. Okay. He's probably better. Phantom's Embrace DPS increased. Stroke of Fate damage increased. Yeah, he's better. He's better. Grimstroke Stonk's going up. Dark Portrait is so fucking good. So, to see it get better is very, very scary. Homing Missile stun duration decreased. Gyro is a very good support and a terrible core. Cooldown increased. Aghanim Shard area of effect decreased. Flat Cannon duration increased. Max attacks increased. Yep, okay. Just making core Gyro better, support Gyro worse. So, there you go. Nerfing the talents that made support Gyro better too. Hoodwink was very good. Stun duration decreased. Decoy lesser bushwhack duration decreased. She's probably still fine. Huskar was decent. Aghanim Shard no longer allows inner fire to be cast while disabled. Sad. That was actually very good. So that's a pretty chunky nerf, actually. Slife Break, spell immunity while leaping replaced by debuff immunity with 50% magic resistance. Who cares? Berserker's Blood regen decreased by 5%. He's mostly the same. This is a sizable nerf. Whatever. Invoker, freeze duration decreased on Cold Snap. Aghanim Shard removed. Effect moved to level 20 talent. Okay. Now upgradable by Aghanim Shard. Multiplies burn damage by 1.5 and makes it pull enemy units into its center at 100 units per second. Oh, that's pretty cool. It's like a overtime vacuum. Neat. Probably worse, but neat. 20% EMP mana burnt replaced with 50 Ice Wall DPS. Probably still bad. That is a lot of DPS though, and you get stuck in Ice Wall pretty heftily. 80% Chaos Meteor damage replaced with 2 Chaos Meteors. So you can't get 3 Meteors at 80% increased damage. Now it's just 3 Meteors at regular damage. Invoker kind of fell into this place where he would just get Shard, get the level 20 talent, and just fucking run around the map, invis, hex somebody, and then combo them with Chaos Meteor and Deafening Blast and other spells, and they would just fucking explode because of this talent and the Shard. So, that playstyle has been nerfed. Now Invoker's gonna have to figure out a different way to play. Which, fine by me, it was very annoying to get hexed into fucking insta-dead. Io, Universal Hero, base damage decreased, strength gain decreased, damage on level 1 decreased by 6, damage gain per level increased by 0.9. Overall, probably a nerf. Spirits, with Aghanim Scepter, the ability can now be activated to explode the spirits, after which they begin spawning again. Cooldown is decreased by 50%, cannot be activated if the ability is on cooldown. Okay. Whatever. I think I have heard that Io is good right now, but what the fuck do I know? Jakiro was good. Ice Path is nerfed. Liquid Fire is buffed, but now has a damage penalty versus buildings. But it still does more damage than before. Because if it was 40 damage, it would be 30. But it's 45, so it actually still does more damage. Macropyre mana cost increased by a little bit. Damage per second decreased. Fair. Liquid Frost no longer applies a mini-stun. That is a big nerf. Ice Path talent duration decreased. Okay. I'm gonna say a 0.5 second... He's just worse. He's just worse. This is kind of cute, but like, it's not that much damage. You have to put 4 points into it to really feel the difference. You have to right-click people. This is 0.5 seconds less on an AoE stun. This is just less AoE damage at level 1 and 2. More mana. This is kind of a big deal for his Shard. His Shard is way worse. Sad. Sad Jakiro hours. Even with his talent, it's still not even up to where it was. Juggernaut was kind of bad. Base damage increased by 1. Spell immunity replaced with debuff immunity and 80% magic resistance, so he can finally be killed with spin. You guys are rejoicing. Omni Slash cooldown decreased. Swift Slash duration increased. Blade Dance Lifesteal increased. Okay, so little just kind of little baby things. Juggernaut wasn't bad. He was only mediocre, I would say. So now he's probably still mediocre, but he's a little better. You don't have to wait so long for Omni Slash in the late game. So I'm happy to see it. You guys are sad to see it. Stay mad, losers. Coddle. Blinding Light is now a basic ability that does not require Spirit Form. Damage increased. Radius decreased. Cast range rescaled. Mana cost decreased. Cooldown rescaled. Solar Bind now requires Spirit Form. Slow per 100 units increased. Oh, damn. Just 10. Duration decreased. Magic resistance reduction increased. Cooldown decreased. Mana cost increased. Cast range increased. Will-O-Wisp Fleet duration decreased. He might be better, because Blinding Light is a very powerful ability. Solar Bind was also quite good, but at early levels it wasn't fantastic. He might be better. Dota buff. Hotel. I'm not showing you guys because it takes more effort to switch to switch it every time. He's about the same. Yeah, makes sense. Okay. Konga. Tidebringer is no longer disabled by silences, instead disabled by break. I like that they're changing these because it felt weird that autocast abilities couldn't be used when silenced. It felt more like a passive at some points. So, whatever. Ghost Ship stun duration decreased. Torrent Storm now area targeted with 900 cast range and 1100 radius. Okay. Not a huge deal, I don't think. But probably a nerf, because now you can't just use it and run along with them and cause issues for them while you're running. Because now if you use it in a bad way and they run away from you, or where it's centered on, it's just bad. Tidal Wave duration decreased. Yeah, Tidal Wave was very good. Overall, worse. Legion, overwhelming odds. Now an area of effect ability centered around the hero. No longer increases movement speed. Instead, provides flat attack speed that doesn't require the ability to hit any enemies. Radius increased by a shit ton. Can now be cast during the duel. Aghanim Shard duration decreased from 15 to 8. No longer increases attack speed. Now provides movement speed bonus. Okay. Duration decreased on duel, which matters actually a decent amount. Aghanim Scepter decreased. That doesn't matter as much. Overwhelming odds radius replaced with cooldown. Hero damage decreased. Press the attack replaced with... Okay, spell immunity changed. Can be cast during duel. I like this better, I think. Because overall, I don't know, actually. I think I like it better. The 600 radius is very big. So you jump in, you blink. Dual, overwhelming odds. Which has basically no cast point. Especially now that you just press it and it casts. You get movement speed from press the attack for less time. But it is a pretty hefty movement speed bonus. It makes it less clear. Like, press the attack is now a very good get out ability because it's a strong dispel, it's a movement speed increase, and it's a lot of HP per second of regen. So it's very good for getting out, but now it's less clear. No, I mean it's fine. It's fine. She's probably just better, I would imagine. Cool. I'm glad to see them change a base part of Legion. Kind of cool. Lesh. Stun duration on Split Earth decreased. Movement speed replaced with movement speed during Pulse Nova. Strength replaced with 20% damage reduction during Pulse Nova. Cool. Might just be buffs. This is a nerf. He's probably about the same, but these are cool talents. I'm not a huge fan of talents that give things during certain phases, right? Like, I don't really like talents that give, like, 10% movement speed during, like, fucking, I don't know, during Static Storm for Razor or some shit. But it's, you know, it's alright. Pretty cool. Lich. Frostblast movement slow decreased by 5%. Okay. Sinister Gaze. Now when cast on a non-ancient creep, it lasts 2 times longer and deals 250 damage per second. Okay. Duration decreased. So it lasts 4 seconds. It does 1,000 damage at level 4. Potentially more. Okay. So Ags on Lich means that you can just Sinister Gaze a creep wave and it just fucking dies. Which is very cool. I like that. He's probably just worse, but the ability to farm sometimes is very good. Lifestealer, spell immunity replaced with debuff and 80% magic resistance. Technically a nerf, but mostly the same. Base armor increase. Lena became very bad, I think, after they fucking gutted her. So base armor increased by 1. Light strike array, stun duration decreased, cast range increased. Flame cloak now grants max fiery stoles on activation. This is the biggest change, I think, aside from the stun duration going down. But she's about the same, probably. Who cares about this? Lion. Poor guy. Damage increased. Stun duration decreased. Projectile speed increased. Oh, that's much faster. Mana cost rescaled. Cast range increased. Duration decreased. Spell immunity with Aghanim Shard replaced. Really? They didn't change. Lion is just so problematic. He's just always, for the past like 2 years, he's been bad, dude. And I think Mana Drain is just such a weird and bad ability. I really like Lion, but I just like, I don't know. I thought they were going to change him a little bit, and I'm kind of disappointed. I mean, this is a very cool change. I like how much faster it is. Having it not be so much mana at later levels is kind of nice. Higher damage is nice. But he got kind of gutted by these 2 changes, because that's like the main draw of his hero. Shame. Fucking kill me. Actually fucking kill me. I want to die. Lone Druid. We're almost halfway. Fucking... I didn't click anything! Wow! Angry! Big angry! Okay. Now a universal hero. Base damage decreased, strength gain decreased, agility gain decreased, and gain increased. Okay. Damage on level 1 decreased. Damage gain per level increased. Reminder, this is all just Lone Druid, not the actual bear. Savage Roar duration decreased. Shard ally attack bonus attack decreased. I said it right. Fuck you. Shard ally bonus movement speed decreased. Okay. He is worse. Luna. Lucent Beam stun duration decreased. Lunar Blessing attack damage bonus allies decreased. Luna now receives 200% of the attack damage bonus. Oh, wow. So now instead of 28, she gets 42. But her allies get less. Loosen Beam is less. Loosen Beam Mini Stun is less. So now instead of 1.2 potentially, it's 0.9. Lunar Blessing damage decreased from 35 to 20, because if she got 70 damage at level 25, that would have been fucking crazy. Now it's 40. So they get 41, she gets 82. Holy crap. That's a lot of damage. Luna is probably about the same-ish. Lycan, now a universal hero. Base damage decreased, strength gain decreased, agility gain decreased, int gain decreased. He was very good. So, damage decreased. Oh, wow. His damage gain per level, fuck. If you're a universal hero and this happened, you were fucking good, man. Crapola. Mana cost decreased on account of his much lower int. Mana cost rescaled to 40. Now also fears enemy-controlled units, non-heroes. Oh, that's cool. And very thematic. Overall, probably a worse hero. But kind of cute change to Howl. That's very cute. And it's not global. That would have been very fucking annoying if it was global and you just howled and your fucking dudes ran away. Magnus, now a universal hero. Less damage, less strength, less agi, less int. Base damage decreased by 5, get fucked. Damage gain per level increased by 0.4. Nerfs. Empower mana cost decreased. Shockwave mana cost decreased. That feels wrong. This feels like this is a typo and should be 100. Oops, he's universal, my bad.
Keep your eye on my horn.
I'm so smart, dude. I'm literally the biggest fucking gamer of all time. This is context clues, bro. I'm the best. Okay. Magnum Scepter upgrade removed. Fucking finally. That shit was in the game for so long, and it was never good, and it was very weird. Now upgradable by Ag Shard. Increases range by 400 and wave speed by 300. Causes Shockwave to return. Okay. So they literally made the Scepter better and changed it to a Shard. That's how bad the Scepter was. Reverse Polarity stun duration decreased by a little bit. Horn Toss, now granted by Ag Scepter, now stuns again. Damage increased. Okay. Strength per hero hit with reverse polarity replaced with +5 all stats per hero hit with reverse polarity. Probably worse. Definitely worse. Reverse polarity stun duration decreased. Okay. He's definitely a worse hero. Horn Toss was pivotal to him, and putting them on a Scepter is fucked. This is pretty decent, though. He can farm waves very easily now. Although he already kind of could with Empower and Shockwave both. This is worse. This is better. This is better. Worse. Nerf. Just probably worse. This talent is bad now. Marcy is now a universal hero. Base damage decreased. Strength gain decreased. Agi gain decreased. Int gain decreased. Damage on level 1 decreased by 4 to 2. Oh, weird. Okay. They could just say 3. Damage gain per level. Okay, so she's worse. Dispose impact damage increased by a pretty chunky amount. Landing radius increased. Okay. Rebound stun duration decreased. Minimum jump distance decreased. Oh, okay, that's much better. That's much better. Yeah, that always felt kind of wonky, how it had to be like a minimum distance and it was so far. Aghanim Shard no longer allows setting the ability on autocast, now allows Marcy to jump off enemies and provides her with the movement speed bonus. Okay. That's pretty good. Her old shard was very weird, but this is now better. Much better. This allows her to be much more mobile all the time. Unleash. Aghanim Scepter Pulse is now also silenced for 1.5 seconds. Okay, that's good. She's probably better. She was very good. Then they dumpstered the shit out of her, and she was still really good. No, she was really good. They changed her. She was arguably better. Then they dumpstered her, and then she was bad. And now she gets 60 more damage, radius increase, jump distance better, shard better, ags better. Oh, I didn't read these. Dispose damage increased even more. So that's potentially going from... It's basically she got the talent built in, and then now her talent is better. So 350. Cast, jump range decreased, stun duration decreased, sidekick replaced with... Okay. Pulse silence with dispose throw distance. Oh, that's a lot. Oh, shit. Wait, was this meant to be on this? Maybe not. Maybe not. I don't know. Hard to say. Okay. Talents are worse. But this one is really good, actually. She's probably just better, I think. Base damage being worse kind of hurts, though. Mars, stun duration decrease. Stun duration decreased. Okay, he's worse. Medusa, her win rate is in the fucking dumpster. So, get fucked, I guess. This talent got fucked. This talent was really good. Now this talent is terrible. And this talent is much worse now, I would say. I kind of like what they did with her. I think it's very cool, but they're gonna need to buff her up. Meepo can now be put on autocast. If the ability is in an autocast state, when cast on target, all their Meepos also cast poof to the target automatically. If able, when cast on the ground, all Meepos except the selected one poof to the location close to the nearest Meepo. Toggling autocast on one Meepo changes it on all Meepos. Okay. Okay. I mean, that's just the quality of life change for Meepo players. So, good for them. Divided we stand. Aghanim Shard upgrade removed. It was weird. Dig, now granted by Aghanim Shard. Duration decreased. Max HP restore decreased. Probably better. Mega Meepo. New ability granted by Aghanim Scepter. Primary Meepo mounts all other Meepos and a 600 radius around him on top of his shoulders. While in this form, he gains 50% of the other Meepo's stats and can fling them at enemies, dealing 225 damage and slowing them by 60% for 3 seconds. While active, Earthbind generates additional nets, and Poof deals bonus damage based on the amount of Meepos riding on top. Casting Dig cancels Mega Meepo, has no mana cost, 60-second cooldown, 20-second duration. Fling cooldown is 0.5. I feel like this is just one of those things, man, that you just fucking... You just gotta see. Meepo! I actually voiced him.
Hey, what's cooking? Yep.
Okay. Oh, it shows the oh, it already did. Level max.
Yep.
Okay.
If you say so.
All right.
Multi-Meepo Scepter.
Okay.
It's too bright out here.
My bow is drawn.
All right.
All right.
Silence.
Okay.
Blood. Hey, everyone's got to start somewhere. Good thinking. Hey, why not? Get some dirt on you.
Okay.
More.
Okay.
One paw in front of the other.
I mean,
That was fun.
that's pretty good. So what happens if you Mega Meepo? Oh, it's only the primary Meepo that has it, okay.
Got dirt between my toes.
I fling one. This is fucking ridiculous.
Buried alive.
Okay. Okay. Sure. Fuck it. Why not?
Come out and play.
I mean, he's probably better. Nobody bought the shard before. Now people buy the shard. The Ags is fucking stupid. I can't imagine it's very good, but it's funny. Imagine winning and fucking stomping a team and then just buying the fucking Ags and mega meepoing in front of people. Oh, I hate myself. Mirana. Oops. Mirana. Now universal hero. Damage decreased. Base strength increased. Okay, good. Strength decreased. Agi decreased. Int decreased. Oh man, she's fucking dumb now. Damage on level 1 decreased by 3 to 5. Damage gain per level increased. She was pretty good before. 2 mana cost decreases. Leap. Aghanim Shard now does not break Moonlight Shadow invisibility. With Aghanim Shard, the ability can now be put on autocast to make it ground or vector targeted, allowing you to choose the distance and resulting the blast direction of the jump. It's probably still bad. I have a feeling they just can't think of another shard to give her because, man, this has been the shard forever and it's always been terrible. It's a little better, but man. She's probably worse overall. Monkey King. Boundless Strike. Stun duration decreased. Sucks. Jingu Mastery. Bonus lifesteal. Rescaled to be more even. Better to look at. Bonus damage increased. Okay. Plus 2 Jingu Mastery charges replaced with 0 cooldown Primal Spring. 0 cooldown Primal Spring replaced with Jingu Mastery required hits. Oh, okay. This is a good talent that unfortunately shared the 25 slot with additional Wukong's command ring, so nobody ever got it. Now the 20 talent is actually a pretty decent choice.
Stand against Sun Wukong.
I agree. You, my friend, have been buffed. And I like that. Good. Morphling. Base strength increased by 1. That means 1 more agility at level 1. No longer grants bonus agility. Aghanim Shard bonus agility move to adapted strike. Okay. So he's actually worse. His base strength was increased by 1, but you no longer get the 3 agi / strength from getting attribute shift at level 1. Now grants bonus agility, same values as attribute shift before. Max stun decreased. Aghanim Scepter effect now steals an additional 20% of all stats when targeting universal heroes. Okay. So the morph... Okay, so they had to think of something for the universal heroes when he steals stats with morph, and the universal hero thing is that he just steals more stats. Okay, overall, worse hero. Not by a ton, but he is worse. Muerta. Added to captain's mode. We've already read this. Worse. Her shard is pretty cool. It will be overbought, I think, because it gives perma buff. The parting shot is weird. I don't think very good. So she's been nerfed, I believe. Naga. Base health regen decreased. Ensnare can now target sleeping and vulnerable units even without Aghanim Scepter. Okay. Good for singing people and then ensnaring them. Riptide damage decreased to some ugly ass numbers. But this is quite a hefty level 1 nerf. Channeling is now interrupted if the target dispels ensnare or dies. Plus Song of the Siren radius replaced with 20 Song of the Siren cooldown. Riptide armor replaced with 1 attack to trigger Riptide. Probably just nerfed on account of this and this, because the other two are pretty minor buffs. This is a nerf too. And the radius was probably better than the cooldown. And the armor was probably better than -1 attack. So probably just worse. Nature's Prophet Sprout cooldown increased. Teleportation mana cost increased. Cooldown increased by a lot. After teleporting, Nature's Prophet now gains 3, 6, 9, 12 stacks of bonus attack damage. 6 damage per stack. Every attack turns a stack of attack damage into a stack granting 1 armor. What the fuck? Okay. Sure. 72 bonus damage after teleporting. Why not? And then he gets armor. Fuck it. It's less boring than just a teleport now. And it still goes down to zero cooldown at level 25. So it's just better at level 25. Treant duration decreased from 60 to 50. Damage decreased. Wrath of Nature no longer provides bonus damage. Ooh, okay. So that's where that's coming from. He might be worse. 25 attack speed replaced with 4 max stacks. He might just be worse. It's a cool idea, though. Necro. Ghost Shred movement slow rescaled to be almost the same, basically, with just prettier numbers. Deathseeker, ability reworked. Necrophos turns into a fast-moving, large death pulse flying towards the target's position at cast time. Once he reaches said position, the death pulse spreads to nearby enemies and allies. Can be blocked by Linken's Sphere. I mean, it's probably just better. It's kind of like a free blink-ish. It's like a half-range blink. It can disjoint projectiles, I'm assuming. Makes you invulnerable during it, I guess. Pulse heal decreased by a little bit. Slow decreased by a little bit. Heartstopper regen reduction decreased by a little bit. He's probably better. This seems pretty good to me. Night Stalker, Void. Void Scepter upgrade reworked. Makes Void an area targeted spell, applying its effect on all enemies in a 450 radius, even if they're invisible or in fog of war. Also creates a Void Zone in the chosen area for 5 seconds. While he's in the Void Zone, Night Stalker's abilities, along with Void, are empowered to their nighttime version. Cool! Does he become scary? Does he get Hunter in the Night? Let's find out. Been going for an hour and a half. A little more. Okay, that's a pretty big AoE.
You ready? Let's do it.
Sunshine.
Yeah.
Dark wings. Cursed dawn.
Does he get his ult? We're down to 8 seconds. Yeah, he doesn't get his ult, which would be fucking silly.
Darkly now.
It looks a little silly.
Cursed dawn.
Increases the mini stun duration.
To battle.
I go in silence.
Okay. So the night duration is 4, the day duration is 1.25.
If I ever
Onward.
get my claws.
Yeah, and she's slow. But if she leaves the area...
Sunshine.
Silence.
If I ever get my claws on that bird.
Okay, I mean,
Not this again.
it makes your Void always a longer slow. It makes your Crippling Fear just longer, probably. And it makes you always attack someone very quickly. I mean, it seems pretty good.
Quiet's magic.
For
First blood. First feast.
And it doesn't decrease the duration after you leave it. That's pretty good, man. Is it worth 4,200 gold? I mean,
my
it might be. Because it basically just means that you're always going to be strong when you fight someone.
I stalk my next meal
But your ult kind of already does that. It's a little weird. It's a little weird. I don't know if it's worth 1400 gold. It feels more like a shard ability, but I mean, it's cool. It's cool. Nyx. Now universal hero, base damage decreased, agility gain decreased, int gain increased, damage on level 1 increased, mana damage per level increased by a lot, mana burn ability removed. I did not see this coming. Okay, so he's better. He's better. Nyx's base damage has always been fucking ass. Now it scales better by a lot, actually. Impale now deals damage on the start of being impaled instead of on landing. That's a buff. That is a fucking massive nerf, though. It's a skill shot stun that lasts 2 seconds now. That's ass. Mind Flare. New basic ability. Deals damage to the target equal to 2, 3, 4, 5 times its intelligence plus 30% of damage dealt by Nyx to the target in the past 15 seconds. Okay. It's basically just mana burn, except it's adding a new thing. A new component to it. It looks cooler, and it sounds cooler. Mind Flare sounds cooler than mana burn. Although mana burn was kind of cool too. But the cooldown is 4, and it's 15 seconds. So you can cast this on somebody like 3 times, and just keep scaling the damage. This could probably get pretty high, actually. This isn't necessarily something that I need to test, but these are pretty big Nyx buffs. This ability is definitely better than Mana Burn, because it basically does the same thing, except it scales the damage better. And it does 30% of this 600 damage nuke. So it's going to do 200 damage bonus with Mind Flare. Like,
Agreed.
get her to max level, but get me to max level. And then what do we get from this? Like, that's extra damage, that's extra damage, that's extra damage. And it's got a cool sound, too. It's got a cool animation, a cool sound. Like, this isn't going to do very much damage because, you know, it's, she's a low int target. So it does 385. $379. 377? Eh? That doesn't feel like it's scaling correctly.
I speak without voice.
354? What the fuck is going on?
Death comes silently.
Is it to me?
Words into the mind.
Is it just abilities? Okay, so Impale definitely increases the damage. Okay. That might be a bug or something. Okay.
I come to
It's a cool idea. Spike Carapace, stun duration decrease, now removes 50% of the target's max... Oh, what the fuck? That's crazy! 50% of max on hit. That is so much. Wow. Oh, another thing about Mind Flare that's worse than Mana Burn is that it's not burning mana anymore. It's just doing damage. That's actually a big deal. But this is where you get it now. Okay. Okay. Increases Mind Flayer cast range by 400. Impale Stun duration decreased. Mana burn increased to Mind Flayer intelligence multiplier. Spike Carapace stun duration decreased. Mana burn radius replaced with Mind Flayer radius. I mean, better, worse. Probably better. Worse, better. It's probably about the same. Nyx Assassin. Let's see. His win rate went up by about 3%, so maybe I'm just on some crack shit. Okay. Ogre Magi. Ogre Magi! I want to see his win rate, actually. That is a good thing to check. Ogre Magi. Went from 50 to 50... Well, day 1 it was 53, day 2 it's 51, so we'll settle on 52, right in the middle. I would imagine he's about the same just because of the fact that he's basically now just getting... I'd imagine he's around the same in terms of being able to cast spells, but now he just gets more multicast chance. But his base damage is lower. I don't know. I think it's a neat idea. It's kind of cute. You get 24 mana per level. I don't know. Omni Knight. Degen Aura ability removed. It's gone. Purge is going to be sad about this one. He always talks about Degen Aura and how he's got a cosmetic that makes the aura red instead of blue. And now it's fucked. Get fucked, Purge. Hammer of Purity, now upgraded by Ag Shard, allows the Omni Knight to be healed for 30% of damage dealt by Hammer of Purity. Every 6 seconds, Omni Knight's next attack automatically fires a Hammer of Purity at the target. Okay. This is kind of bad. It's okay. This is also kind of bad. It's okay. I think his shard is just okay. Just like his old shard was also just okay. Ag Scepter additional duration decrease from 3 to 1. Get fucked. Omni Knight, about the same, I think. Oracle. It went from never buying the shard to, I don't know, probably not. Maybe on core. And the Ags is worse, which he used to buy. Fate's Edict now only disarms enemies. Now only provides magic resistance to allies. Cooldown increased. That is a fucking huge buff. Hello? That's fucking huge. Okay. That is so good. You don't have to worry about fucking your teammate now. Very good. Okay. False Promise. Aghanim Shard. Oracle got way easier from this. So this is quite good. His skill ceiling has been lowered. As well as his skill floor. That's good. Because he was very difficult. False Promise. Aghanim Shard upgrade move to Aghanim Scepter. Okay. Grants 0.15 second fade time invisibility to the target, as well as improved BAT and Spell Amp. Okay, that's kind of a lot of BAT. Hang on, I want to see this on Alchemist. Hang on. I'm going into the demo a lot, but I need to see this on Alchemist. This is gonna look fucking ridiculous, actually.
Let if be all that we see or see.
Alright. So,
Get ready.
level max, False Promise duration, Scepter Shard, and they moved this to the Shard. Okay. You also get leveled to max. Base attack time decrease. Now it's at 0.9. You will be going to 0.65. Let's get an axe. Let's level him to max. And buy him some hearts. Oh, I forgot about the consumable things. That's so fucked. Okay.
Forward.
Let's get you some attack speed. So you attack at 0.24.
Now we're cooking.
Okay. With this, you attack like this. 0.13. So he attacks basically 10 times per second. And with Oracle, he will be attacking...
Don't hold back.
0.09. What the fuck? Hang on. Hang on. Let's just buy him, like, a Radiance and, like, a heart.
If you insist.
Whatever you say.
Go, monkey. Bro.
Down.
Decanting.
What the fuck? Go. Kill. I mean... You can't argue with results.
We're off to an explosive start.
You can't argue with results, dude.
I'm not ready.
We're on to you.
Like, just say, like, oh, Al, can you do me a favor and buy, like, a Daedalus? And he goes, oh, yeah, sure. But I'm worried about dying. And you just go, don't worry about dying. I got you, bro. And he says, okay.
Coolest cut.
I mean,
Comedy go.
that's a lot of fucking damage, man. It is an Ags. It is an Ags. But it's mostly just fun, I think. Spawn in a fucking PA. Max level. Get her some items. Get her, like, some of this. Some of this. She gets, like, this bad boy, this bad boy. Something like this, something like that. And then something like a BKB. Right? And you're like, oh, PA, you're so hot. How about I make you attack faster? Alright, well... Mind you, this axe has 6 hearts. So...
Blink or you'll miss. How many daggers am I holding up?
I mean, it honestly wasn't as much damage as I was anticipating. I didn't buy that much damage. This only gives 25 now. So let's just say fuck it. She went balls to the walls and bought a divine.
In I go.
Oh, she also needs she also needs some fools to kill.
Secret target.
To get some Deso stacks. I'm just taking this to the extreme. This is why my patch notes take fucking forever.
Stricken out.
Alright? That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
I must harm to heal.
You can basically turn anybody into a fucking crazy-ass right-clicker. Late game. Reign of Destiny now granted by Aghanim Shard. Damage and heal per second decreased by 60 to 40. So it's a 3,000 cost decrease for a 20 nerf. I really like Reign of Destiny. I think it's a fun ability. It sucked that it was on his Ags and it was kind of bad. So this is fine. I think people will actually buy it. Good. Outworld Destroyer, Devourer, Destroyer. Astral Imprisonment, Scepter upgrade removed. Now upgradable by Aghanim Scepter on Essence Flux. Damage that brings Outworld Destroyer below 20% health triggers a strong Dispel. Additionally, Outworld Destroyer consumes all of his mana to provide a damage barrier equal to 50% of his maximum mana. Lasts 15 seconds, cooldown 60 seconds, cannot be refreshed, effect is disabled by break. Now deals damage to all units, treats the units without a mana pool as if they had 0 mana. Okay, so this will fucking destroy units now, like Boar and Golem. Warlock Golem. This is like an Aeon Disc on crack. So, I mean, a strong Dispel is very good. His Scepter was pretty good, so people miss losing out on that. But this is like a situationally good, like, a PA is gonna go on me, and I just fucking die, and I just need an item to stop that. BKB doesn't do it. I'm gonna buy an Ags. Hopefully I live. Kinda cool. Kinda cool. I like it. It's cool to see defensive Aghanims and not always just, like, offensive or, like, weird utility ones. Pango. He's good. Now a Universal Hero. Agi decreased. Damage on level 1 decreased by 3. Damage gained per level increased by 1. Base armor increased by 1. Damage decreased on shield crash. Mana cost decreased by a little bit. Rolling Thunder stun duration decreased. Cooldown this is good. This is big, actually. This is one of the big ones. Because certain stun decreases matter more than others, and this is one of them, because Rolling Thunder, he chains into itself to stun you repeatedly, so decreasing the window of time that he gets to do that is a big deal. Cooldown is increased, spell immunity replaced with debuff immunity and magic resistance, which is very helpful, because before, when he was rolling, unless you were a ranged hero, you can't right-click him, and spell casters couldn't do any damage to him. So it basically felt like he was just invulnerable anyway, but now this opens up a window for him to take damage, which is nice. Swashbuckle slash range decreased. Damage decreased. Rolling Thunder cooldown reduction decreased. Okay, so he's just overall a worse hero with one more armor to show for it. So, I don't mind. Pango is annoying. PL is fucking crushing this patch now. So... let's see. Base attack range increased. Okay. Weird. But helpful, I guess. Aghanim's Shard upgrade move to Aghanim Scepter. Aghanim's Shard upgrade move to Aghanim Scepter. So the Shard was the bounce. Spirit Lance now bounces twice on enemies. Prioritizing heroes can bounce back to the original target. Also increases slow amount by 10 and Spirit Lance illusion damage by 40. Now upgradable by Aghanim Shard. Allows Juxtapose to be activated to create one illusion at Phantom Lancer's location, giving him instant invisibility. Oh. Weird. Move speed bonus 15, duration 8, cooldown 15. Kind of cute. Doesn't cost any mana. So this is back to being his Shard, right? Or his Scepter? Yeah, his Scepter is now the bounce again. Okay. His Axe before was good, but like you would never buy it, but it was kind of cool. Juxtapose with the Shard is now kind of cute-ish. Move faster. It doesn't cost any mana. You can use it to farm, I guess. Just drop an illusion. Hopefully it makes more. It's confusing. Instant invisibility is very good. That sounds very annoying, actually. Because now he just disappears and you're like, well, is he invis or... I don't get it. So that sounds very annoying. Not to mention the fact that Diffusal Blade now has an upgrade. So when you're reading patch notes, you need to think of like what items will affect what heroes and things. So I knew Diffusal Blade Disperser upgrade would be good for PL. And they buffed him. So I had a feeling that this would be a good PL patch. I feel like sometimes some changes kind of slip through the cracks. Where the developers kind of forget about how changes would affect a certain hero. I remember a while ago, I was very proud of myself for calling this. I thought that Slark was going to be fucking broken for a patch because Hex used to be undispellable, meaning that Slark's Dark Pact was just countered by Scythe of Ice and Lion and Shaman. And then they reverted that change and made Slark able to dispel it again. And they buffed Slark a couple times, and like one of his items got buffed, and he was fucking destroying his games. And I didn't even see like patch note reviews, people talking about it. So I felt very big brain for figuring that out. And I feel big brain again for figuring out that PL was going to be good this patch, and being automatically confirmed by checking Dota buff and checking it too early. So get fucked, everybody. I win. Phoenix, now universal hero. Base damage decreased, strength gain decreased, damage on level 1 decreased by 5. Okay. She used to hit kind of hard, but now she's just okay. Stun duration decreased, supernova talent duration. Okay, so she's just worse. I think Phoenix was pretty decent, so she's just getting hit hard by a bunch of small changes. Primal Beast, onslaught cast point decreased. Okay. Okay. Stun duration decreased. Max channel time increased. Time to max charge increased. Okay. Min charge distance decreased. No longer reduced by damage block. It was? That's weird. Okay. Pulverize now pierces debuff immunity. Ah, that's very good. Hit damage decreased by a very sizable chunk. Probably to offset this. Stun duration decreased. Cooldown increased. Is it worth it? I'm going to say probably. That's like fucking really good. Okay. That was Primal Beast's like big weakness before, was that if you just pop BKB, he couldn't touch you anymore. And now he can at least pulverize and stop you. Stun duration decreased on rock throw, no longer reduced by damage. What the fuck? Why was this? Why? Was this a bug? It makes it seem like it's a feature. Pulverize pierces spell immunity replaced with cannot be rooted or slowed during trample. Oh. That's quite good. Okay, cool. So this is really a buff in two places, because now he gets it base kit, but also it's a buff because he has another talent to choose. Probably better. It seems better to me. Puck. Intelligence gain increased. They're making Puck better. Ag Shard now also passively adds 20 bonus magic damage to Puck's attacks. Huh? Illusory Orb mana cost decreased. Ag Scepter upgrade removed. Break stun duration decreased. Now upgradable Aghanim Scepter. All enemies affected by Dream Coil are attacked by Puck every 0.6 seconds. Attacks originate from the Dream Coil center and do not require Puck to be nearby. Okay. I thought this was a talent. Is that no longer a talent? Okay. Can I? Okay.
A likely way to pass a fraction of an eon.
Same. Okay. Did they forget to put in his talent changes? I feel like they might have just forgotten to put in the talent changes, because they seem different to me, but I can't remember. Okay. So Puck buffs. Weird, but whatever. Pudge. He was kind of bad. Meat hook projectile speed increased. That's going to fuck with some people, but is good. Now can be heard in Fog of War. Oh. That's bad. That's very bad. Okay. Projectile speed increased to compensate for you being able to hear it early. Rot damage scepter bonus damage decreased by another 5. It used to be 100. Scepter regen reduction decreased from 25 to 20. I forgot it did that. Cast range increased to 200. Duration decreased. Duration on creeps decreased. Made Pudge worse. Wow. Get fucked. Pugna. When targeting allies or self, no longer increases magic damage taken. Instead provides incoming heal amp. That is a big buff to decrap. Holy shit. Healing for allies is no longer based on the damage dealt by life drain. Wow. That's good. Good buffs to Pugna. Quap. Still bad. Aghanim Scepter Scream of Pain emitted from Shadow Strike expiring now also damages the target. It didn't? Holy fuck. That was so bad. It's decent now, but holy fuck, that was so bad. Okay. Razor. Static Link cooldown rescaled to be worse early, better late. Second Plasma Field now does 70% of the damage of the initial wave. Get fucked. Ricky, Sleeping Dart ability removed. Okay. It was too controversial. Ricky got a big win rate increase, though. I saw that on Dota Buff. Smokescreen, now upgradable by Ag Shard. Enemies in the Smokescreen have their armor reduced by 7 and cannot be targeted by their allies. Whoa! That's cool. Get fucked, some people. Legions and Warlocks and Wyverns and... Okay. Cloak and Dagger now gives an experience bonus for kills and assists. Okay. Okay. That's really good. You get a kill at level 6, you get an extra 150 experience. That's fucking amazing. You get 5 assists in a team fight, you get an extra 500 XP. Wow. Big buffs to Ricky. Sleeping Dart wasn't very... It was good, but it wasn't amazing anymore. Minus 7 armor. Like a free Deso for Smokescreen and a decent counter to certain heroes is very good. That also fucks Shadow Demon's Disruption. Kind of. He can still cast it on you. This is very good. Blink Strike Slow replaced with 8% Cloak and Dagger movement speed. 8% Cloak and Dagger movement speed replaced with 50% Tricks of the Trade agility increase. What's the other level 10 talent? Smokescreen Radius?
It should be less tiresome than another age in Chrysalis.
Okay. I mean... Ricky seems pretty good right now, man. Wow. Cool. I want to play some Ricky. 50% Tricks of the Trade agility increase is also a lot. Like, you start backstabbing people for 150% agility damage. Like, that's fucking... That's a lot. I want to play him before he gets nerfed, because he's got like a 60% win rate or something. Or like 58. It's like fucking ridiculous. Rubik. Telekinesis lift duration decreased. Stun duration decreased. Lift duration decreased on the talent. Rubik was good. He's probably still fine, but he's less good. And that makes me happy. Fuck Rubik. Sand King, now a universal hero. Base damage decreased. Base damage level 1 decreased by 2. Damage gain per level. So he'll be the same. He'll actually be technically a little bit better by level 3. Grostic stun duration decreased. Now always applies the current level of Caustic Finale to enemy heroes, even without Aghanim Scepter. That's pretty good. Aghanim Scepter upgrade removed. Sandstorm now upgradable with Aghanim Scepter. Every 0.2 seconds create 2 65 radius Burrow Strike spines at random locations. Each one stuns enemies and deals damage. Oh, Burrow Strike! Not Epicenter. Each one stuns enemies and deals damage equal to the current level of Burrow Strike. I mean, we just gotta see that. What is he's universal now, that's right. That's cool. That's fucking cool.
Some call me.
But how good is it actually? Get it up to a 2.2 second stun.
Is short. Use it wisely. Like the sands.
Make Sandstorm bigger. Make it slow people. That is really good. I mean, yeah,
Axe charges. Enemies need killing. Into wars. Forward. So you say.
this basically makes it like kind of impossible-ish to fight in Sandstorm.
Yes, indeed.
Like, they're not really getting that hit by it because it's not that many, but like it's disruptive enough that like you do not want to be fucking with this thing at all. And you're just trying to get out, and you're slowed, and you're getting stunned. That's pretty cool. I'm still a proponent that the old Ags wasn't really that good. I thought it was alright, but it wasn't that good. But placing Caustic Finale on things means that like a double stun now means that when that first person dies, it'll just do a ton of damage now anyway. This is really cool. It's good, man. It's good. The Sand King is eating fucking good this patch. Shadow Demon. Disseminate cooldown decreased. Okay. Still never seen anybody use this ability. Demonic Purge damage increased. Cleanse Aghanim Scepter max charges decreased. Oh, okay. Cleanse heal increased. So each charge is better, but you still only get 2 charges from the Scepter now. Talents. Purge damage replaced with 1 second Shadow Poison cooldown. Cooldown replaced with 200. Okay. This is a better timing for this talent. But this is obviously a worse timing for that talent. Still, 800 damage heal is quite good, but you only get 2 charges of it. I mean, base Shadow Demon is better now, but playing with Shard and Scepter is worse. Accidentally clicked. My bad. Haha. Alright, we're getting closer. Shadow Fiend is getting towards the end. Oh, we're getting there. We're getting there. We're pretty close. Shadow Fiend. Shadow Raise no longer slows turn rate on hit. That is fair. Shadow Raise is very good. Stacks lost on death from Necromastery decreased from 40 to 30. Happy to see it. Aghanim Shard Fear Duration decreased. That's fair. Not a huge nerf either. Presence of the Dark Lord. Every enemy killed near Shadow Fiend further improves the armor reduction by 2 seconds. By 2 for 20 seconds. Duration is refreshed with each hero kill. Oh! That's pretty cool. And makes up for this, I think. It's not a permanent buff, but for 20 seconds, you can get an extra -2 or... Like, if you instantly blow up 2 enemy heroes in a fight, and then the enemy team is, like, trying to scramble to, like, salvage it, and you're putting -11 armor reduction on them in an AoE, that's fucking good, man. 11 armor is a lot. Requiem of Souls, Fear Duration per soul hit decreased by another 0.2. Fear Duration max decreased by a lot. So they're just further nerfing the playstyle of Blink Dagger, Arcane Blink, Refresher Orb. I mean, it's already gone because Arcane Blink is gone. It doesn't do the same effect anymore. But base Shadow Fiend is just a little better, I think. So... And the talent is worse again. This used to be 0.4 and like a 3.0 second stun. Like, it was fucking stupid long. It was so good. But now it's just okay. Not great. Overall, maybe a buff. Maybe a buff, honestly. This is pretty good. Shadow Shaman, Ether Shock, targets increased by 2 at all levels. Hex duration rescaled to be worse, but better at level 1. Barely. Mana cost rescaled to be better and then worse, but not by much. Honestly, a buff. Cooldown decreased. Mana cost decreased on Shackles. Duration decreased. Makes sense. No longer the 5-second Shackle, though. The Dream. Aghanim Scepter no longer increases Serpent Ward's attack range. Weird. Talent Hex reduction decreased. They just made a base kit. Shackles total damage increased. Ether Shock damage increased. He's honestly better. This is a buff. These are good. This is overall probably a nerf, but I mean, he's going to have a lot more mana at early levels. Who cares about this? Buff. Skywrath Mage. Arcane Bolt now leaves behind a debuff for 5 seconds that increases Skywrath Mage's spell lifesteal against the target by 20, 30, 40, and 50. What the fuck? Mystic Flare duration decreased from 2.2 to 2. Doesn't matter because that just, it doesn't do less damage, it just packs it in faster.
The ancient powers.
Which is a buff. Talent for health increased, Ancient Seal increased magic damage decreased, Mystic Flare damage decreased. These two tiny buffs don't really matter that much to me. That's fucking incredible. Sure. That's good. That's good, man. He's gonna lifesteal a lot. You almost kill Skywrath. He pops an Arcane Bolt on you for 50% lifesteal. You drop a Mystic Flare on you. He's back up to full health. That's good, man. Buffs to Skywrath. Slardar. Slithering Crush stun duration decreased. Damage increased. Bash of the Deep stun duration decreased. Harder to perma-bash people with Slardar, which was already kind of impossible. But maybe now better, because Oracle can Ags him. Corrosive Hail Armor decreased. Overall worse. Overall worse. But the river is longer now, so Slardar does have that going for him. Slark. He was good, so he's going to get nerfed. Damage decreased on Dark Pact by a little bit at early levels. Depth Shroud cast range decreased from 800 to 600. Shadow Dance attack speed increased on a talent. Okay. You max Dark Pact pretty fast anyway, so I mean, honestly, Slark is not that nerfed. Depth Shroud cast range was pretty high before, but you largely cast it on yourself anyway. It was only really good with the cast range for, like, when Legion was going on somebody, you could just Depth Shroud and, like, cancel the duel. It was fucked. I kept doing that to a Legion a couple games ago, and it felt so good. And so bad for them. Depth Shroud, and he's really not that hurt, honestly. Good, I like Slark. Snapfire, now Universal Hero. They dumpstered her. She was very good, then she was just decent. Probably still good, but decent. She's about to get hit a little harder, I think. Base damage decreased, damage gain. Stat gains are just worse. Fire Snap Cookie, stun duration decreased. Spit Out, stun duration decreased. Worse. Sniper. Aghanim Scepter stun duration. They are really hitting every stun in the game, man. They are not letting a single fucking stun go. Concussive Grenade, damage increased by a lot. Okay. Shrapnel Slow increased. Shrapnel DPS increased. Knockback Headshot Distance decreased. That's fair. This talent's very fucking annoying. Shrapnel. One number. +1. Fucking butthole. This is the biggest change, I think. And it's nice. Not huge, but nice. Spectre's gonna get hit with the Ban Hammer. Or the Nerf Hammer, whatever. Spectre, Desolate no longer ignores evasion. The attack must now land for Desolate to deal damage. Bad against PA. Bad against Troll. Bad against Tinker. Bad against Butterfly. Not, game breaking, not terrible. Mostly bad against PA, but it hurts a little. Dispersion, Aghanim Shard upgrade reworked. Allows to activate Dispersion to increase damage reflected by it by 100% for 5 seconds. Only increases the outgoing damage, doesn't mitigate the incoming damage. Mana cost 50, cooldown 25. It's decent. You wouldn't buy it, though. You'd get it from Roche and be happy. But now you can't get it from Roche. You'd get it from the Tormentor. And maybe it would go to you, maybe it wouldn't. Spectral Dagger, damage decreased. Haunt Illusion damage decreased. These are not big nerfs. The Desolate one is probably the biggest one, but she'll be a little worse. Spiritbreaker Charge of Darkness, stun duration decreased. Greater Bash, stun duration decreased. Planar Pocket, self magic resistance increased. This ability fucking sucks. This is much better, though. Makes you actually want to tank things. Greater bash chance increased by 3. Health replaced with Bulldoze 500 damage barrier. That is very cool. And very on brand. I like that. Worse hero, probably, but Shard's a little better. Talents are cuter. Storm Spirit. Static Remnant radius increased. Storm's not getting played very much, so that's a buff. Duration decreased. Overload damage rescaled to be worse early, better late. Electric Vortex duration, about the same. Sven. Stormhammer damage decreased at early levels. Duration decreased at all levels. That's a big thing for Sven, actually. This is one of those heroes where it matters a lot because he gets those 2 seconds to just fucking wail on you and hopefully you die. It's kind of like a mini Chronosphere for him. So, sucks for Sven. Great Cleave. Cleave damage increased at early levels. Now provides a strength bonus. Okay. Very, very minor, but kind of cute, I guess. Warcry cooldown increased at early levels. Duration increased. Probably a buff, honestly. Probably a buff. Buff. Nerf. Buff. Nerf. Techies. I've heard about this one. Now a universal hero. Damage on level 1 unchanged. Damage gained per level increased. Okay. Aghanim Scepter upgrade move to Aghanim Shard. Effect is unchanged. Okay. This was such a bad scepter. As a shard, it's probably okay-ish. Casting it on allies, okay, it's a decent thing, but that means that he loses the scepter on this unless this is the new scepter, unless it's probably not. Aghanim Shard upgrade removed. Okay, no longer silences enemies. Okay, now stuns enemies. Huh, okay. So it's better because it stuns. The Aghanim Shard was very good because it gave it bonus cast range too, so that's gone. The Blast Off was kind of heinous in the fact that it was he'd get the stun, and you'd be like, oh fuck, I'm stunned from Blast Off, like he got his shard, it's very good. But then you'd also just be silenced for 6 seconds, and you'd be like, fuck, I actually can't do anything for another fucking 5 seconds after me being unstunned. So that's just gone now. Now it's just the stun that you have to worry about. So honestly, I don't know if this makes him better or worse. Proxy Mine's magic resistance damage debuff now stacks independently. Ah! That's fucking good. You can triple mine somebody and then they just have a shit ton of magic resistance debuff. So that's good. Minefield Sign. Cast time increased from 1 to 2. I forgot that he had this. I forgot it did something. Now upgradable by Ag Scepter. Increases effect radius to 1000 and duration to 4 minutes. When an enemy hero gets within 200 units of the sign, the entire 1000 radius area becomes a minefield for 10 seconds. Enemies will take 300 damage for every 200 units moved. Minefield area is visible to enemies once activated. The sign is destroyed after the minefield expires. Only one sign can exist at a time. That's fucking funny. That's a lot of damage. That is literally... Is this not broken? Because it takes 2 seconds to plant it, but like, if you just drop this in the middle of a team fight, they are fucked. Let's see.
If you want explosions,
Except no substitutes.
It's funny. Oh, that's fun.
We're going.
It also makes it a lot more obvious that you're doing it, though. Mine's in its radius to be invulnerable.
science.
Invulnerable or invisible? Invulnerable. Oh. Okay.
What?
Axe charges.
I mean, you kind of want Ag or Aether Lens for this. That is still a very far or a very short cast range. Okay, but that's like fucking. You have to be on it. That's a little better, and then maybe you'll get like. I don't know. You can choose to get something, so you'll be like, oh, give me a Seer Stone at tier 5. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Into war's teeth.
I mean,
Axe rise.
that's pretty good, man. And that's without any magic resistance reduction. Like, this will reduce their magic resistance by 25, 25, 25. That's a lot of magic resistance reduction. Holy fuck. Okay, here we go. Hang on. That should not have hit him. That is like a not true radius. Okay. So if you get this. Fuck, stop attacking him, you asshole. Hang on, I am so intrigued by this now. It sucks that Aether Lens doesn't build in anything anymore.
Axe goes.
Hang on, this dude needs like fucking a heart. Okay, so let's say he's got 4,000 health. That's so much damage, dude. What the fuck?
Enemies need killing.
It's such a big radius, dude.
Fight.
At what point does it activate? Oh, you gotta be close as fuck.
To the enemy.
It's not that much damage, but it can get kind of crazy with proxy mines.
Sneaky. Planted.
Rest is for the dead.
Fuck off.
Foolish.
I mean, it's fucking funny, man. It's funny as hell. I'll give him that.
This is gonna be fun.
I like it. Techies is a definitely more fun. Maybe Slacks will play him again. Probably not, but maybe. Templar Assassin. Base attack range increased from 160 to 200. Doesn't seem like a lot, but man is her attack range fucking tiny. So, honestly, a welcome change for me. Refraction mana cost rescaled. Okay. Okay, I like that. Psionic Trap. Now trap ability can be set to autocast mode. In this mode, the ability springs the trap that is closest to the cursor rather than the one that is closest to Templar Assassin. Now traps can always be denied. Psi Blades deal damage behind the trap that is denied. Whatever. Then there's a whatever. Terrorblade. She's better though. I like that. I'm happy. Terrorblade. Reflection now slows attack speed by 15, 20, 25, 30. Demon Zeal attack movement speed increased by a lot, actually. Terror Wave fear duration decreased. Reflection slow replaced with reflection slow damage. Sunder cooldown decreased from 34 to 30. Buffs to Terrorblade. He is better, I think, by a little bit. Tidehunter. Poor Ravage. It's a bug. Anchor Smash mana cost rescaled. Worse early, better late. This is good because 10 mana costs like 10 times is 100 mana. Attack bonus damage increased by 5 at all levels. Tide is better. Except for Ravage, which is now worse. and the mana cost, which is nice. Timber, now universal hero. Base damage decreased, strength gain decreased, agility gain decreased, damage on level 1 decreased, damage gain per level increased. Doesn't matter. Big nerfs. Big nerfs. Reactive armor is now upgradable by Ag Scepter. They'd better fucking make that a talent or something, because I really liked his Ags. Can now be activated to gain max stacks and a 200 HP barrier. This barrier gains 100 HP per second and increases by 75 HP per second for each enemy hero within 600 radius of Timbersaw, up to a maximum of 800. Doesn't count illusions. After 8 seconds, Timbersaw loses the barrier and deals damage to every hero within 600 radius, equal to 200 plus the remaining barrier HP. That sounds quite good. It's at least 200 AoE damage. It might be pure damage, because he's all about pure damage. So it's at least 200 damage. And he gets max stacks of reactive armor, which can become kind of hard to get at the end of the game. Aghanim Scepter upgrade removed. Whirling Death makes universal heroes lose 5% of each attribute. Okay. Okay. 16 strength replaced by 20% magic resistance, which is really fucking good. 12% Whirling Death attribute reduction replaced by second Chakram. Probably because it would have been really hard to implement on universal heroes. So they just said, fuck it, get rid of the Chakram, give it to him as a talent. Okay, I like that. I like that. This is cool. I like this. Base nerfed. Except you can get a second Chakram at level 25, which is very good. And his Ags is cool. Tinker, base agility increased by 4, agility gain increased, laser cooldown increased, heat-seeking missile cast range decreased, damage increased. Okay, so like this is really his only nerf. Blink Dagger is muted for him, even if he refreshes the cooldown, which I guess isn't bad for him, but it's not that big of a deal, because usually if someone was on top of you, refreshing the cooldown didn't matter. Did they just make Tinker better? Because he was already pretty good. This is upsetting. I'm sad. I think they made Tinker better. Let's look it up. Tinker. Tinkering about. Come on, Stinker. He's about the same. Okay. He's got a 56% win rate in fucking Divine. Holy shit. The cast range is kind of important, because it means that he can't high ground or low ground as well. But the damage is painful. Tiny, Trigram cooldown increased. Toss cooldown increased. Grow bonus armor increased. Bonus damage increased. No longer provides bonus damage to tree grab. Level talent, 20 talent still does. Ouch. Tiny got fucked. This is like kind of like, this is like not worth it at all. Like this is a big deal. This is a big deal. This is a big deal. All right, one sec. Okay. Treant Protector, level 15, Leech Seed movement slow, whatever. Leech Seed damage heal, better. Overgrowth Undispellable replaced with Overgrowth cooldown. This talent was broken. This talent is good. Treant is probably still fine. Troll Warlord. Still haven't changed fucking Battle Trance. Jesus Christ. Now caster can use items during the effect. That's actually helpful. I didn't know that you couldn't before, but now that I know that you couldn't, this is actually pretty good. Still a bad ability, though. Tusk. Snowball. Stun duration decreased by a little bit. Snowball speed decreased by a little bit. Sorry, Tusk, you're still too good. Underlord. Mana cost increased on Firestorm. Atrophy aura duration rescaled to be higher and lower. Fiend's Gate cooldown decreased. Probably worse hero overall, especially given the fact there's now the gates on either side of the map that you can teleport with. Undying. Tombstone, now upgradable by Ag Shard. They can't seem to decide on his Shard upgrade. Allows up to one allied hero to bunker inside of the Tombstone. Ally can bunker by pressing right mouse button on the tombstone while in 350 radius. Bunkered units cannot leave the tombstone for 3 seconds after entering. Unit that left the tombstone cannot re-enter it for 3 seconds. If Undying decides to enter the tombstone while another ally is inside, the ally is forcefully evicted. Undying also receives the Grab Ally ability, which bunkers a hero to the nearest tombstone within 400 range. This ability is also present on the tombstone itself. What? So he can use it if he dies. He can use it to grief people. Cooldown increased on Flesh Golem. Shard removed. Reincarnation replaced with 60% Flesh Golem strength bonus. So he's basically unkillable anyway, and doesn't need reincarnation. What the fuck? Okay, it's a funny ability. Is it good? What was his old shard? Like spawn a zombie every time you hit someone in Flesh Golem? This is probably better. Silly. Very silly. I like it. Probably... Is he better? I don't know if he's better. This is kind of a big nerf. 15 seconds is a long time. He might be better. I don't know. Venge Spirit. Universal hero. Damage decreased. Strength gain decreased. Agility gain... Oh wow, she is fucked on her stats. Her stats are so fucking bad. Holy shit, her stats are terrible. Magic Missile stun decreased. Bonus damage decreased. Another swap. Pierces spell immunity. Magic Missiles pierces spell immunity replaced with 40% other swap damage reduction. Damn! Venge got fucked. I didn't realize she was good. Venomancer, now a universal hero. Base damage decreased. Strength gain decreased. Agility gain decreased. Intelligence gain decreased. Damage on level 1 unchanged. Base damage per level increased. Poison Nova. What? Now a passive ability granted by Ag Scepter. Creates a ring of poison upon death of Venomancer or an enemy hero infected with Venomous Gale. Also triggers if Venomous Gale is dispelled from an enemy hero. Enemies hit by the Poison Nova take non-lethal damage over time and have their magic resistance reduced. 900 radius, 10 second duration, max HP is damage 3, magic resistance reduction 30, travel speed 550, cooldown 10 seconds. So you can't just die and have someone else die and then refresh it. What the fuck? Okay, not what I saw coming. Noxious Plague. New ultimate. Infects an enemy with a deadly plague that does an initial burst of damage and additional damage over time based on the unit's maximum health. Enemies in a radius around the target are slowed, with values decreasing the further you are from the affected enemy. So the closer you are, the more slowed you are. When the target dies or the debuff expires or is absorbed... Absorbed? Like dispelled? Or just, I don't know. All nearby enemies are infected with a non-communicable version of the plague. Duration 5. Damage 200, 300, 400. Max HP is damage 5, 6, 7. So they take 35% of their max HP as damage, including 400 damage. It slows enemies around them. It's a projectile. It's got an 80-second cooldown. I mean, it seems pretty good. I like that. That's cool. Latent toxicity, dispel stun duration increased from 2 to 1.6. Whatever. Poison Nova duration replaced with 1.5% Noxious Plague. Max HP is damage, so 8.5 for 5 seconds is a lot of health. Poison Nova reduces 100 attack speed. Replaced with Noxious Plague or reduces 200 attack speed. What the fuck? That is a good talent. What's the debuff radius? 800? You hit someone with fucking Noxious Plague and they slow attack speed in an 800 radius by 200? What the fuck? That's so much. That's like, that's more than Enchantress's ult. That's crazy. Holy fuck. I can't imagine this being worse. This has got to be good, dude. I mean, maybe it's worse because Poison Nova was really fucking good. But he was very much like a one-note hero. I guess now, like, if you Noxious Plague somebody and Poison Nova them, holy fuck, that's so much damage. Wow. And his Ags is good. Okay. Good. I think it's better, but I don't know. It's hard to note something is better or worse when it's so different. Viper. Cast range on Viper Strike increased. Cool. It's always been low. Now it's higher. I like that. Visage, now Universal Hero. Base damage decreased. Strength gain decreased. Agi gain decreased. Oh, that's so bad. Damage on level 1 decreased by 5. Damage gain per level increased by a little bit. That's a nerf. That is a big nerf. Grave Chill mana cost decreased. Soul Assumption mana cost decreased. Stone Form Visage is just worse. Void Spirit, now Universal Hero. He was bad, I think. So maybe he's better? Base damage decreased. Damage on level 1 unchanged. Damage gain per level increased by a lot. Okay. Cool. Aether Remnant pull duration decreased. Resonant Pulse now stacks additively with other sources of physical barriers. Basically never. Okay. Whatever. Warlock, Shadow Word. Aghanim Shard upgrade removed. Get fucked. Now upgradable by Aghanim Shard on Upheaval. Creates an imp for every 2 seconds of channeling. These imps last for 15 seconds and have 17 to 18 attack damage, 300 health, 1 armor, and Eldritch Explosion passive ability. When killed or expired, imps explode, dealing 60% of their max health as damage to enemies within 400 radius. Imps continually seek out the closest visible and attackable target, but can be controlled. Chaotic Offering stun duration decreased. Shadow Word cooldown replaced with 18 Shadow Word damage heal. Shadow Word damage heal replaced with 450 Shadow Word AoE. Okay. Fucking funny. Is it good? Probably not. 2 seconds is a long time. But it's funny. He might be worse. He might be worse. Weaver, base armor increased by 1. Aghanim Shard mark duration increased from 6 to 12. That was so needed. His shard was very bad because you would Shikuchi through something, you'd get like 1 Geminate attack off, and then it'd just be gone. Geminate attack, cooldown decreased. Oh, wow. Disabled by break instead of silences, so that's a buff, because break is far less common. 7-second cooldown at early levels, just decrease in everything. 2 Shikuchi charges replaced by 2.5 second Shikuchi cooldown. Okay, that's a nerf. But overall a buff. I want to play some Weaver. Wind Ranger is now Universal Hero. Base armor increased by 1. Base damage decreased. Strength, int. Damage decreased from 2 to 8. Oh, she had a fucking huge range before. Now it's just normal. Damage gain per level increased by a little bit. Overall, probably a nerf, because that's a lot of damage. And again, you weren't always rolling it that high anyway. I don't know. Shackle Shot. Improved projectile consistency. Now Shackle's the closest target behind the you get shackled. Fail stun duration decreased. Latch stun duration decreased. That's a big nerf. Power Shot damage increased. That's so much damage. Holy shit. Windrun. Aghanim Scepter no longer blinds enemies. Used to apply 40% mischance. Aghanim Scepter now also reduces physical damage taken by Wind Ranger by 50%. Wow. Just, you cannot hit her during Windrun. Okay. Overall, I don't know. About the same, I would guess. That's a lot of damage, though. At every level. Like, a 170 damage nuke at level 1 is fucking crazy. Wyvern, now Universal Hero. Base damage decreased, strength gain decreased, agility gain decreased, int gain decreased. Damage on level 1 decreased. God, that's so bad. Damage gain per level increased. Arctic Burn, Health Burn rescaled. Where's at level 1, which is when it matters the most, I think. Splinter Blast. Splinter's projectile speed increased. That's useful. Witness Curse, curse duration decreased. Alright, Wyvern got nerfed. Witch Doctor, base damage on cask increased. Stun duration decreased. That's actually a pretty big nerf because that allows people to better run away from the cask while it's stunning them. So that might mean the difference between getting stunned once or twice more. Wraith King, Wraith Fire Blast, stun duration decreased. This happened a lot this patch, where the stun duration went down but the damage went up to compensate. Stun duration decreased from whatever the fuck to whatever the fuck. Lifesteal increased on Vampiric Spirit. Half versus creeps. That's a lot. That's a lot of fucking lifesteal. Skeletons now deal 35% less damage to buildings. That's fair. Mortal Strike critical damage increased. Damn, that's a lot. Reincarnation cooldown rescaled. Oh, okay. Much worse at level 3. Can now be cast by Wraith King on himself to die and resurrect if he has the necessary resources. Now always spawns 1 to 3 skeletons to attack each nearby hero when reincarnation triggers. Aghanim Shard still adds 3 skeletons, resulting in 4, 5, 6 total. To attack each nearby hero. Okay. Aghanim Scepter now also reduces cooldown by 40 seconds and respawn time of every hero dying under its effect by 10%. What the fuck? That's good. Just shave off 10 seconds on people's death cooldowns at late game? That's fucking crazy. Okay. Overall, I mean, buff, except for this, but that doesn't happen that often. Nerf, but that's a buff, that's a buff, that's a buff. I don't know. The Ags is really good now. Fuck, man. This is really useful, though. It was 60 seconds was so fucking annoying. Zeus. Static field ability removed. Oh my god. It's finally gone. Base damage on Arc Lightning decreased by a little bit. Now also deals... Oh, okay. They built it in. They built it into Arc Lightning. Cool. That's really fucking good. Lightning Bolt mini stun duration decreased. That's fine. Makes Nimbus worse too. Heavenly Jump now always moves Zeus forwards. No longer increases enemy cast time. I forgot it did that. Very weird. But now you can't stand still and not jump anymore, which is probably good. It was kind of annoying whenever it happened, usually. Lightning Hands. New passive ability granted by Ag Shard. Increases Zeus's attack range by 100. Zeus's attacks create arc lightnings that deal 50% of its damage. Illusions deal 20. That's fucking cool. That's amazing for farming. Holy shit. Cool. I like it. Okay. Lightning Bolt mini stun decreased. So it went from 0.7 to 0.55, which is kind of a lot. Thunder God's Wrath damage replaced with 4% Arc Lightning current health as damage. 10% current health on an Arc Lightning. Just off of Talented base kit. That's really good. 100 Arc Lightning damage. They didn't want Lightning Hands to be broken. Replaced with 150 Thunder God's Wrath damage. As a level 25? Okay. Buff. I think. Buff. Buff to Zeus. Very cool. Miscellaneous. We've reduced the number of roll queue tokens granted when you lose an all-row selected match. Now you'll earn 2 tokens for a loss. Winning still grants the full 4 tokens. I didn't know that it was based on wins and losses anyway. Fuck, that's annoying. I mean, it's better, I guess, than it was. Better than it was, but now I'm aware of it and I'm annoyed. This change should help smooth out player behavior around ranked roles where farming tokens sometimes takes precedence over playing an assigned role effectively. We removed Captain's Mode from ranked... Oh, okay, I forgot it was there. And cut all random and all random deathmatch from unranked. No... I don't care about this one, but this one. Man, it's so much fun. Almost no one plays these modes and queue times easily exceed 1 hour. Yeah. Fair. This update removes the legacy model editor. All VMDL files will now load in the new tool, and old models will be converted when you first load them into the tool. It will release a subsequent update to completely remove support for loading the old compiled format. So we encourage all workshop authors to load and convert their models to the new format and recompile them ASAP. We've removed support for the legacy hold animation key from dynamic props. Custom games should either manually switch to the new loop mode key or recompile their maps in order to automatically update those properties. I don't know what the fuck that means. I'm sad about this. This one I'm happy about, I guess. Okay. Another 3 hours, pretty much. We basically matched the first video's timing exactly. So there you go. I'm consistent. Two-parter. Both 2 hours and some odd minutes. Close to 3 hours. But hey. We did it, baby. Who's gonna watch it? Me in 8 months. Nobody else. That's it. Goodbye. Thank you all. We made it. Catch you later, losers.